introduce things correctly. So this is the history of ProWorldLife. One second. Let me open it up real quick so I can read it and be official. All right, in 2016, ProWorldLife was cultivated as a support system for people seeking to find their true purpose. After receiving his largest conscious awakening on October 4th, 2013, our CEO documented his experience by publishing the Professional You Handbook. He began to spread his story to his close family and friends. Awakenings began to spread, lives began to change for the better. It was amazing. He realized he wasn't the only one seeking their truth, so he created ProWorldLife, a conscious community for like-minded people to share and support each other in reaching their wildest goals. Our mission. Our mission is to spread conscious awakenings globally, inspire and motivate the world by reflecting the principles in the handbook in our daily lives. By nurturing ProWorldLife branches for growth, our ambassadors will develop unique strategies to develop a dependable network to support the conscious awakening globally. There are so many amazing people doing amazing things, and now is when we have a platform to showcase our efforts of consciousness for the benefit of the generations to come. We're here to assist and lead you to your dreams. Each person invited to join the family has a unique experience regarding their own conscious awakening that some of you are seeking. We have dedicated our lives to creative expression and are dedicated to showcase the message globally through our efforts of personal growth and success. So if you're ready to find a deeper passion in life or just seeking a good team of individuals with like minds, this is the perfect place. We're here to spread the conscious awakening through our efforts of success, and this is the home base for you guys. All right. I had a basic statement, and the topic of the week is independence. So I kind of wrote a brief kind of something based off of, how I felt, how we reflect independence. So there's a person inside of you that we're here to activate. You know who that person is, and it's the professional you. This is not a one-time activation. This is a consistent activation that we won't allow to stop. In results of not allowing that activation to stop, we all become rooted in our actions, not stopping, always achieving personal growth and success. We're here to inspire you, motivate you to become the professional you. This isn't you for play. This is you for real. Real life goals, real life achievements, real life success. See, if you want to go to the next level in life, you got to collect the requirements. You need the right keys, ingredients, instructions, knowledge, the know-how, and the right team. See, this team, they're not the people that you plan to bring with you. The team, the team are the players in the specific places at the right time and with the right ability to make the score. Everybody has unique roles and responsibilities, but without the right team, you'll continue to lose to your opponents, your competition, which is usually yourself. The other you with the right team in place always has the play to execute your goal. You got the right team, you'll be able to achieve the wildest dreams. The best coach knows how to select different teams for different tasks. Diversify your networks. Create different markets. Don't bring the swim team to play football. Create different teams for each plan. Only the all-stars will be on multiple teams. And since you are creating the teams, you must be an all-star. The best way to realize that you are the all-star is to activate the professional you. So now I'm going to unmute everybody. And then I wrote a couple topics based on independence that I would like to discuss. But I'm going to open up and unmute the line so you guys could, voice who you guys are. I want to welcome the audience and welcome everybody that's on the call. We appreciate you, and I really want to let you guys know that you guys are valuable. We're the only people that are coming together and thinking like this amongst billions of people. So it's an amazing experience for me to welcome you guys. One thing I want to do is kind of let you guys know the rules of kind of like the call. While you're not talking, if you have the opportunity, I would like to mute you guys. If you want to set up a question and answer at the end, that'll be great. Then we'll be able to go through that format. But I'm just going to unmute everybody, and we could just go from there. And I'll open up with the I guess I got main people. Let's see, we got 3 like ambassadors, like ProWorldLifers. So let me open up Stony first and introduce yourself and kind of what you're representing and give a brief introduction.
Hey everybody, Tony Johnson. What I'm pretty much representing is this family, peace, love, and understanding. I think we need to go back into those concepts. I don't know if you want me to elaborate on, your topic right now, but pretty much that's what.
No, just an intro.
Word.
Hello?
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 Yeah, go ahead and do your intro.
Oh, this is Jessica. I have a lot of business knowledge to really offer. Lots of independence knowledge, dealing with tons of billionaires and millionaires. Yeah, that's about it.
All right, cool. And now I'm going to unmute Johnny.
Thank you. Well, I'm Johnny. I guess I could bring to my table, I own a company, and I do have experience dealing with people out there, also billionaires, millionaires, doing work with them. And, yeah, you know a little bit about everything.
That's cool. Well, welcome you guys, and for all you guys that are listening, these are some of the first prospects and branch members that I've reached out to actually join my team of ProWorldLife. And by joining the team of like-minded people, I've been able to continue to be inspired and then learn a lot about other sides of my industry from different angles. So I would suggest people that are out there to always reach out to different industries and create a diverse network of like-minded people, because it's always amazing to hear what they got to say about their side of life. All right, so now our topic of the day is independence, right? Being independent. I want to kind of like address a couple types of independence. Independence from distraction. What do you guys think about being independent from distraction, or what is independence to you guys? And let's like kind of like make this orderly. Whoever wants to go first. Kind of. What is independence to you guys?
We'll let the ladies go first.
Oh, okay. My lifestyle is independence. I have been fortunate, and I'm very happy with my life today. Obviously, I want more, but I have independence because I'm self-employed. So, I mean, I have flexibility with my lifestyle, including parenting to my child. So I'm able to work around my own schedule and completely just be independent in that way. So I'm 100% financially independent. I don't work for anyone. I just work with clients, personal clients, and I get the freedom of being able to chill whenever I want. If I want to take a day off, I say today I'm going to take a day off, and that's it. but at least for me right now, that's a form of independence that I have, and I feel like it's a luxury of life.
I like that. Okay, well, who's next?
Go, Stoney.
I'll go. Well, I feel independence is isolation. I feel that we're actually birthed into independence. The thing is, I think the thing that we need to learn how is to reconnect. You know, and I feel like that's a concept. It's a set up concept. Independence. So I think that pretty much, yeah. Like our job is to reconnect, learn how to build relationships. Again, learn how to teach people to be not financial independence is good, but it's only practiced by one. And if we say we're community, or we're trying to strive for community or strive to better our family, those things need to be taught. That's going to better you independently. It'll be more self-fulfilling when you know that you can pass that on. So that's pretty much my concept of independence.
It's dope. Johnny?
Yes.
Well, for me, independence, it goes many ways. I don't depend on somebody, so that's one good thing. Two, I'm able to go to Starbucks and still make money. It's one of those things where, like, before I had to clock in, clock out, and that was my lifestyle. It was like, oh, I got to go to work at 9 to 5, 8 to 2, weekends. Now I could be sleeping and making money. It's one of those things that I learned. It was like, that's a blessing. It's like Jessica said, I could spend time with my kids if I choose to. It's one of those things where you were like accustomed to a different lifestyle, and then once you made that change, you're like, you can't go back.
Right.
Like it's like a drug. It's like you learn that system now, and going backwards is like,
it's impossible. It literally is. Yes, impossible. That's crazy that you say it like that.
For me, once you learn how to do it, you'll always learn how to do it, no matter what.
So let me ask you guys this. Me personally, I think independence is, I would say, maybe a 4-level concept. And let me break it into like the areas. You have mental independence, you have spiritual independence, you have physical independence, and then you have emotional independence. Now, for me, I feel like each one is tied into or affects each other dramatically. So, for example, your emotional independence dramatically affects your physical status, your spiritual status, and your mental status. How do you guys feel? Like, let's address one aspect of independence at a time. How do you feel mental independence plays a role in your life?
I'll go first. Well, like, I practice different things to be, like, when I think of mental independence, it's like being stable and staying positive, meditating, just being present, when you're at home, enjoying yourself, reading, becoming more, like, just seeking more knowledge, how to better yourself every day, self-healing stuff, for your mind. Pretty much on that level when I think of stuff like that, but also being free from really, like, negative attachments to people, because I feel like I've, like, some people have bad luck and some people have good luck, and there's these weird patterns that I see around people, so, it's kind of like an awareness thing, staying away from certain crowds, certain people, and being mindful, staying on top of your goals, being structured with your days, or trying to at least, to bring success and mental wellness, not stressing out, taking it one day at a time.
So you're seeing like independence almost as a reflection of surrendering to your true goals. Like I'm surrendering to my future, so not too much that's happening around now can take me away from where I'm going. And I'm aware of that, and I'm comfortable with letting things pass me by, like relationships and emotional attachments and things like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Yeah.
I'll let Johnny go.
Oh man, I was tuned into her. For me, it's controlling my own reality. When you were used to a mental state where you thought, oh, this, like Jessica said, oh, this is happening to me because of, I did something, or that person has bad luck. It's not necessarily that they have bad luck. It's just their mental way of thinking is just bad, so that's the only thing they attract.
Right.
So for me, mental is, you control your own reality and the way you're feeling and the way your day's going to occur. Like if I wake up, I'm like, oh, today's going to be shitty, then something shitty is going to happen.
Right, you have
or
that
if I'm
option.
so if I'm running away from something, I'm going to attract it more. I'll give you guys a good example. I haven't been to my office 1 week. I had like little drama. I finally came in, and I solved everything in like 2 hours. And I was like, now I know where my money is. But the only reason why I didn't know was I was running away from it. Instead of like thinking like, oh, I got a challenge and I got to, take it head on. So that for me, mental is like, you can't, some problems are going to get big. And the bigger you grow, the bigger the problem is. So before I used to be like, oh my God, and panic, like for an issue. But that was because I was never confronted with that issue. But now if I look at the issue, I'm like, oh, that is nothing.
So fear plays a role, like independent of fear allows you to be mentally free enough to make a wise decision.
That is, well, sometimes you got to step back and look at it.
Right.
So the next time I come across this is not going to be nothing because, like, it's going to be like, I already dealt with that. Next big challenge. So you got to, I now tell myself I am bigger than my problems. Mentally.
That's dope. So do you think, like, for example, in the situation that Jessica was saying, like, there's some people that are they root negative energy. That's what they attract because that's what page they're on. That's the frequency they're on right now. Do you think it's something like their decisions that they previously had, all leading up to that, has them in a negative vibe, and right? Like they're still like, it's almost like on the battery you have a plus and a minus. Right now they're still on the minus side because they haven't made too many positive decisions. What do you guys think of, like, is that what you're saying, Jessica?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have friendships where I've decided to not surround myself with because they put me in weird situations. I mean, for example, a month ago, I decided to go out with a group of girlfriends. I mean, this is nothing really, like, business related. It was just girls' night out. We went to this bar down the street from my house. I always pass by this place. I love it. Every time I pass by, it looks like so cool. The vibe is cool. We finally decide to go. It's a fun place. So as we're leaving out, this guy decides to, like, ask grab one of the girls, and the girls totally slipped and started throwing punches at him. But she responded and started attacking the girl. So anyways, it just turned really ugly at the end, and I decided last week to go to the bar, and they didn't let me inside, and they told me that I was bad because I was with those girls, even though I had nothing to do with what happened.
Wow.
So, right. I mean, that's an example of how somebody can, and it's not bad luck. I mean, it's
just the law of attraction. They
yeah. But,
that's
and you know
so
what's
nuts.
And you know what's interesting about that? How it was mentioned before about being on a certain frequency. Yeah, it is true about being on a certain frequency. The other day, I saw one of the girls post on Facebook about how she always has these bad situations happen to her. So I was like, well, no wonder all these things are happening to her. She's like manifesting it all the time. Oh, all these bad things always happen to her with guys and like weird stuff. And she happened to be one of the persons that was in that situation that I was around. So, I mean, it's just an example, you know.
That's wild. And so, like, that's like for you, your mental independence allowed you to see how you got placed into that situation by maybe being dependent on, I guess, a common relationship with those people, and not necessarily being like independent of that entertainment, you know, like in that type of engagement, right? Or how would you look at that situation? Like, how would you treat going out with any crowd? How would you treat yourself to mentally to protect yourself from that type of situation?
Surrounding myself with, like, if I'm going to go out with girls, I guess, I mean, the thing is that this place, you got to think about, and I didn't even think about it until the next day, really, but this, it's called the Harvard and Stone, and this place is a bikini bar, so there's girls dancing, you know, so it's going to attract certain kind of men to that kind of place, but I didn't put two and two together until that happened. I'm like, well, look at the kind of place we're going to. We're going to a bikini bar. We're going to be around perverts and fucking assholes.
And then for you, you give off more of a positive energy. Like you're like you said, you're a massage therapist. You're dealing with healing. You're dealing with other things. So immediately, like that was like a turnoff for you, right?
Oh hell yeah! But to me, like what I learned from it is that I wanted to just surround myself in like more modest, bougie stuff. I mean, I like that. I usually go to like a really low-key wine bar in my neighborhood. Right. So we were trying something different.
So but more still, more conscious people.
Yeah, more conscious. Being around places that people are a little more conservative, because then like there's a certain upkeep and a maintenance that the environment has. Status comes into play, so people behave less violent that way, And it sucks that it's true, but like every time I've gone to, say, for example, like the Cha-Cha Lounge, there's always somebody fighting. So I've learned to avoid places and people like that,
That's
so cool. It's more you're more wiser. So rather than going out to party and getting wasted, go have dinner and talk about business and how you could, how you're more successful in your business, stuff like that.
Right. So do you feel
that part of my life? Sorry to interrupt that. It's called the purge.
The purge, like, so do you feel like those people are mentally dependent on something else, right?
Yeah, they're, okay, so there's this form, there's solitude, and that book, 100 Ways of Solitude, has anybody ever read that book?
No, I haven't.
100, okay, no. So, I mean, it's basically about how, like, everybody has feels some form of loneliness, whether you're in a relationship or not, or whatever. It's just, like, something that happens in our human nature. And I think that most people that are behaving that way has to do with addiction and them trying to numb something out, maybe from their childhood or pain. But I think it's just an emotional thing that they struggle with. I mean, I've been there before.
Yeah.
So, some people are better at dealing with it. Or it's like I told my mom a couple of days ago, we were having a conversation about my little brother and how my little brother is so fucking lazy. He's 21 years old. But he's addicted to marijuana, and all he wants to do is play games all day. So he's addicted to games and marijuana, and that's all he wants to do. And, I mean, it's pretty freaking annoying to see that happen.
So the independent minded, like, so for example, some of these people, they're so wrapped up in their addiction that their independent mind doesn't have enough power to even give them an option or be aware. Their awareness of options is very, very limited, right?
Yeah, and then a thing that I see with the younger generation, the ones like that are born in like the 90s, most of them are kids with parents providing everything for them, and they're not teaching them these lessons at a young age of how to develop independence. Independence, like, for example, my son can serve himself a cup of water. He knows how to dress himself, like, he's barely 4. He does all these things. It's amazing to watch a little kid do that. But, I remember my little brother, Adrian, my mom still dressed until he was 8. Like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Right. Interesting.
So those are things that I think it starts with childhood. It has to start with childhood. How you're being raised.
Can I build a little bit?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
that was beautiful, Jessica. And like I said, like my perspective on it is, it, like you guys both said, it's either a negative or a positive energy. When you decide as an independent person to actually involve yourself or surround yourself around someone else, because they have their own independency, and like I said, that's why we have to start tapping into our communities, people who are like-minded like us, or who have certain status, like the same status, because we're parents. Some of us are parents, or some of us have business titles. We don't want to jeopardize that, or sometimes on like old friends, or just being around in a certain atmosphere, we jeopardize that when we decide to make that decision to go out or to do stuff. So it's pretty much based on finding the people who are on the same type of frequency as you, because they're not gonna allow you to do those things. They'll check your independence. They'll be like, hey, like, this is not a cool, like, let's go somewhere else. We'll have a better time. We already have our group of people. We'll have a better time somewhere else. Because sometimes and being in certain environments, it drags you into stuff.
Totally. That's amazing. I feel, based on what you guys just expressed, I could already see those type of people, and we're just going to generalize it, that type of person that feeds into that negativity might not have a long-term vision or goal, wild, amazing dream that is pulling them and helping them make the wise decision.
Right.
You understand? Like, it's like, if, like what they say, idle mind is the devil's playground, right? And misery loves company. So if you have an idle mind and your mind isn't directed towards a long-term goal or purpose, and you might be miserable and not realize it, and then you want to hang around people that don't have the same type of goals, right? That kind of relate to you. I feel for us having goals and still being so, like, we're not square. We don't want to stay inside. If we do read books. We don't want to stay confined though, and not. We like music. That we're out the box a little bit. So for us, there's not too many locations that host people like us. that that we're knowledgeable of. Like coming from, I guess, an urban upbringing personally, all the entertainment that I got introduced to, that I fell in love with, necessarily doesn't have a positive energy around it. I like to, right? And I think that now, since we're realizing that it's about the positive and the negative attraction, and we need healthy, positive resources, like places to go out at night that are all conscious, and we could trust the area, the events, the environment, and the content, and the music, and what we're going to be receiving during that duration of time. So when we leave these situations, we're leaving with an amazing story that we could share, that will empower another person to follow that same way of living, right? Like, I feel that we learned a lot from, like, the Jessica story, just knowing that, we could get attracted to the wrong environment because of not being that aware. And now we have to really, really protect our awareness in that way. And I feel like ProWorldLife is that type of community. Like, that's one of the reasons why we're inviting people to share this atmosphere, because we are like-minded individuals, and I think that's wild. Like, even though each one of us are from different walks of life, different parts of the city, we're doing totally different things, haven't been in each other's presence, and you know what I'm saying, and like in a controlled atmosphere, and we're all having the same type of perception. That's a mental strength that I feel is based on being mentally independent.
Yeah,
totally
it's
agree.
It's the freedom of choice. But it also, we like learning to check yourself, and saying, hey, you know what, this might slow me down a little bit, if I actually participate in this, or hey, this is the cool environment, I need to show up, like, or I need to participate in this.
You're independent you're independent minded, so you don't need a parent. You're your own parent, right? You're not dependent on someone else making the decision for you.
Right, yeah, and sometimes you have to step in those shoes, in those roles. Like, if you see somebody slacking off and they're just about that, if you're that positive, you need to share that positive with that person, because if you change that person and you put them on a positive path, then, like I said, it's going to be a domino effect. Now, if you stay independent, you stay in your hole, if you have to deal with that person, you don't know if that's they're not revealing themselves. And when they revealing themselves, sometimes it's too late, So, hey, you're like, oh, I got labeled something that I wasn't, but I could have been on my positive. I could have had a positive conversation and found out what they're about, and then I have the independent decision to continue on with that person, or step back. When we don't check it, that's when we could get labeled something, or we could follow a negative. And the good thing,
you might mean well, but by default, you separating and being physically independent, right? Because physical independence means I'm separating myself physically from the situation. But
from the situation, right.
Right, and that could alter a whole situation because you're not present enough to be the solution, and you might be the solution. How about this? Because you said something amazing too. Independent of a personal task, so you can be of service to the public. Right. The public that's around you. You're independent on what you need to be doing, so you're present enough. You get what I'm saying? To actually be of service. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because a lot of us follow trends as well. A lot of us have family members who follow the trend. Like, there's a million.
Ooh, that's amazing. So,
million of people.
The task that people are following happens to be a stereotype that gives them instructions of how to act in a situation of crisis. So
exactly, like
some people might run, some people might do nothing because they're not trained. But depending on how they're dependent on stuff, independent people might get more diverse knowledge, and that gives them the independence to actually be of service and actually do amazing things. How about this? The independence of financial stability, which could allow you to then be of service as well on a higher level, like giving back to a community, donating to charities, not only donating to charities, but having the luxury of time to then go and be of physical service too.
Yeah, that's the challenge I have is, us knowing millionaires, or us knowing how to create a currency, or us being independent. How do we make people? How do we make our friends? How do we make our family members be in the same position? I know that mentally they'll probably isolate themselves and they're on a negative, but what could we put in front of them to change that? And once we do that, it elevates us to another level. You get what I'm saying?
At this point, it has to be physical.
I got something really good on you guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know how Stoney was saying or Jessica, for example, the bar that you were in.
I'm sorry?
Do you ever think about the bar you were in?
The what I was in? The bar?
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to go in there last Friday.
Yeah, I know, right? But it's I think it would have made a big difference. Like, even if I were to go, like, what was it, a month ago, I went to a bar that I used to think was cool, but this time I was like, well, whatever, but I was still in there. I just chose not to really immerse in the whole environment and still had fun. I was like, I just won't come again. But, there's different people that have different independence and different views, like their PR. For example, you could have Rick Ross. He's independent. He's still a millionaire. He's just a different kind of millionaire. Then you could have, like me, I'm a father too. And the way I think rubs off on my kids, they're totally independent. They're right now staying in Mexico alone. And they're so independent that they got it for me. They're like, they could go to my office and help me out and think like me. They could cook, and I was like, dude, you're little and you could take care of yourself. But that's something I learned how to do at a young age, too. So it rubs pretty much around, like, your surroundings. So the way you are thinking, you're going to attract more of it.
Yeah.
If you're
that was accidentally, I think. I was just like, okay,
so if you're mentally thinking a certain way, you're going to be attracting it too.
So how about this?
So
let's
like
look
for me,
at
for example,
hold on, Johnny. Hold on. One aspect of mindfulness. 1, 0 to, let's say 1 on a level of 1 to 10. How mindful were you of the people that you were with, Jessica?
Not so much.
Okay.
I knew 2 of the girls out of 5 people.
Okay. So we're looking at a situation of us, the level of mindfulness that we have to walk into our environment every time we go into the public, right? We have to be mindful of the other people's actions, because those are the people that might not be as mindful. And are we going to stoop to their level? I think at this level in our lives, this is why we're on this call. It's because we're wanting to step up and protect that level of mindfulness. Because I think that we value our experience that much that we're not trying to sacrifice it.
Yeah, every time you're in public, just to build on what Johnny said, every time we go in public, we're going to be judged that way. When we was kids, when we were younger, we got away with stuff because we was just a child, so they let stuff go. Now us as business, men and women, you know what I'm saying, wherever we at and whoever we're with, we are judged by that. You know, so it's certain environments that we have to automatically change, or we have to suffer the consequences, you know, of it. You know, because I can't go around and be around some people shooting up places, and then I'll put on a suit and think that that energy is not going to come back in my environment. You know, all it takes is the wrong person to see me. You know what I'm saying? Suited up and be like, hey, he's vulnerable, because I can't play the negative in the positive role. I have to choose. You know, or it's going to be this crazy cycle of events that can occur. You get what I'm saying? So when we go to a bar, we're taking our business to the bar. You know, when we go to a business meeting, we're taking our the stuff that we do outside of our business life, we're taking that. You know what I'm saying? Because I have run across people who see me in the business atmosphere, or they see me in the club atmosphere. You know, and they say, hey man, dang, you're just as energetic, you're just as crazy as when I see you on a business tip. You know, and that feels good to know that they ain't seeing two different sides of the ball game. You know, they get me in that situation, and they get me in a professional environment as well. So yeah, it's when you take now as adults, you know, and as business people, we take what we represent with us. Pretty much.
That's dope. I like that. I like that concept. That reminds me of what Johnny was telling me. He was telling me like you're a CEO, you know, like that's the uniform you're in, you know. So in reality, like that's a respect, that's a status, that's a level that, you know, has to be performed, you know, within yourself. You know, it's not like you're just a person. No, you are of a certain stature. And even if you aspire to be of that stature, it's great to start practicing now. You know what I'm saying?
And for the people around you to respect it as well.
Right.
If not, then you know that it's a negative to you. You're a CEO. If someone can't respect that you're a CEO, it's negative. If you talk to people who do business, you know, they want to tell you, I don't deal with people who don't give me my rank.
Right.
Because it's gonna be an obstacle. It's gonna slow me down. You know. So yeah, you totally have to embrace your role and let it play out.
You know what's funny about that, Stoney? I fired people that were surrounding my office that didn't qualify because of that. They'd come in, they're like, dude, I'm like, am I due now?
Just real quick, wow.
You know, it's like right away I was like, you don't qualify. And,
right.
You know, but I had to learn that once I told myself, and it started acting out like the role of a CEO.
Right.
And the moment you step back to your old mindset, then that's when you're going back to just probably being the dude.
Right.
Right.
You know, then they get that vibe. They get that vibe, so they're like, oh, he's cool. We'll call him dude.
Right. That's true.
So, you know, that's what I was saying. Like, you can't go back. If you're trying to grow, you have to keep going. You know, every time you go back, you're just pushing yourself away from that goal. Whatever you do, you know, you could still be somewhere. Yeah, even me, I was in the marina, which is a nice area, and two crazy white people, you know, were there, even in a nice neighborhood, trying to, like, not mug me, but, like, intimidate me.
Right.
But, you know, and I was dressed, you know, well, and they weren't. And, you know, to me, it's like, all right, I learned enough in life. Is this going to scare me? You know, honestly, like, if I'm here, I'm not going to be scared of that. I know if I'm in the hood, then okay, then we have a whole different scenario. You know, I'll give you a good example. I went to the gym, and I recognized somebody in the gym, and I was like, what the hell? I approached him. He couldn't faced me and he couldn't deal with my energy, that his reaction was, I don't know you.
Wow.
And he was the same guy that put a gun in my head. And he was like, I was like, you're trouble. He's from 18. I was like, but he was just like, he saw me, he felt my vibes. He was like,
go ahead.
Go ahead. He was like, you're so different now that at one point I was able to punk you. Now it's like, I can't even do anything no more.
Mental independence.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what, Johnny, that was a vision for you to see because he didn't know you. He didn't know your potential. Just because of status and circumstances, you know what, it was, a negative, just because of a status or environment we in, we may run into a negative, but for that to come back around to you, and you're like, hey, I recognize what you did to me. Well, you can't even recognize me because of my status. He never knew you. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
He never knew you. So it's just to say, hey, that's just a vision for you to be like how far where you came from and how far you are now ahead and above certain stuff.
For me, I was so confident that I wasn't scared to approach him.
And that's mental independence. That's being mentally independent of fear, mentally independent of any anxiety or insecurity that would hold you back from a situation. I got a great example. Think about this concept, guys. How many times have you been approached with something brand new and you decided to say, nah, I'm good, I'm going to stay where I am type of thing? And how many times have you said, ooh, I'm interested in whatever comes my way that's brand new? How many times have you made either decision?
What's new? Like something new to me?
For example, like, Johnny, I have an opportunity for you. Are you let's have a meeting. Are you willing to take it? Nah, I don't want to take a new opportunity right now. I'm good. Compared to, let me hear you out. Being open to opportunity,
I'm very open, so normally I'll hear them out first. So for regardless of what they have to say, I'll listen to it, hear it, but in the end, I won't make a rush like a right then and there, like, let me jump on it.
Right.
Like, I'm not that person that jumps on it unless I know it makes sense in my head.
So you give it a 50-50 attention? Like you don't give it your all, your undivided?
No, I give it all my attention, but I make a decision based on whatever is being offered. And, for me, doing business, you could smell something bad like a mile away, for me at least. Mm-hmm. I could see, okay, this is going here, this is going there. Good example, me and you, Valen, when we were doing the tip, we still participated, but we were already ahead of it.
Yeah.
Like we were already thinking ahead. I'm like, okay, this is going there.
I'll be right back.
So I was already ahead of the thing. So I do give him my attention. I do hear him, but I just let it play it out for a while.
So do you when you are presented with a new opportunity, since you have a long-term goal, every opportunity has to be looked at in how it applies to your goal? Excuse me.
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah.
It just has to make sense.
Like how open are you as a business or an entrepreneur to opportunities that are outside of your industry?
I'm very open. I'm going to do production in the future. I don't know how, but I just know I'm going to do it. I'm open.
Do you feel that that's an entrepreneur spirit, that an entrepreneur
Yeah,
should be open to jumping into any industry at any given time?
Well, you want that because you don't just want to have one source of income.
Right.
You're trying
to be a
real
independent of only having one source. Like, you need multiple sources. Entrepreneurs, you guys are listening, you guys need multiple sources of income. You need to be independent of having only one. You need to have multiple.
You know, I was told by my friend that owned a shop, he was starting as a musician, and now he has a car like one of those a repair shops. And he kept asking me for guidance, and I even called I guess the girl I used to date at the radio station and showed him videos of him, and she was like, he's good.
Right,
so
right.
he's still thinking like to going back, and I was like, all you have to do is figure out a way to cover you in the shop, and that will still keep going and jump on the other things. Otherwise, you're going to be like, oh, I'm stuck with one, you know, I should have done it.
Right. Like a person in that nature, like you, that lets you know that you always have to allow all of your talents to be applied. Like, there's something that you learned in a totally different industry that you're going to have to apply to this new industry for sure, no matter what, right?
That's the reason why he called me. He was trying to get an answer from someone that's, you know, I'm thinking ahead of the, you know, not just in one box. You know, when I was working with my friend in production, I didn't do production in my past. I was in sales. Nothing to do with production. But
so what did you use? So how did you use? What did you use that applied to the other industry that you got from the previous industry?
Finding solutions.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I use many things. I'm very good with people.
Okay.
You know, dealing with a lot of people in sales allows you to deal with just about any type of personality too, and walks in the world. So it doesn't matter who that person is. For me, I saw it as an opportunity to learn something new, and that something new helped me with my business now. See, I'm not doing production, but just the fact that I learned from an entrepreneur to do something allowed me to do something.
Just the essence of doing something.
Just, you know, it's like, hey, I got to do something. But you see, now I'm thinking, you know, in the future, I do want to go do production.
All right. Because you know that you can do it. You could do something, right?
Yeah.
All right, so look. All right, I got a new concept for you guys. How do you guys feel about being independent of self-ego, like of ego? Like letting go of the character that you think you are to then be able to be the real you, like independent of ego.
I mean, me as a father, I think I let go of ego a long time ago. You know, it's never about, I lost the concept of it's about me or I have to fulfill what I want. I know I have to fulfill what I need, but if I know I think of things that I want, but if it doesn't come if it doesn't come to a reality, I accept that to let it go, you know, because now I have to become a provider, you know, in thought, you know, in the physical, and actually trying to build on something. So I use that concept with any and everybody, you know. So I don't really deal with ego as much, you know.
That's cool. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'll go next. I don't know. I take a lot of pride in my work. Everything that I've done to be where I am and my success just as a person. So I can come off to people as being like overly confident, but it's just my personality, really. I'm an overly confident person, but that's just who I am.
Like, so do you think your overconfidence is like one of your insecurities? Like you're overly confident, but you don't even realize it?
No, absolutely not. Like, actually, I think it draws the right people towards my life, the people that I do want to know and the kind of people I want to do business with.
That's great.
So the people that are going to be on my level are going to just get me, and I'm able to identify that already. Like, I'm already past that. Like, you know, I'm just fully aware. You know, what kind of people just want to get high, and what kind of people want to be successful or trying to be successful and are in a really going a good route. But yeah, when sometimes I've encountered situations where people have misunderstood me and I come off as a very oh, I think I'm the shit, but it's not that. It is my ego. But the thing is that I'm a very humble person, so I think that my ego is balanced out with my kindness towards people in general, and the way I carry myself and respect people. That then somebody interprets me as a completely different person and just sees that I just know what I want and I know what I'm doing and I just keep on going one direction, and it's just determination, not really I'm here, I'm better than you, and stuff like that. And
that's cool. That's
try to pretend that you are better, because I meet some people sometimes that, they're just popular online and they have this huge ego, and they're acting. They're these struggling actors, and I've worked with them in situations, and this is outside of my work, or been in situations at parties where they're just I'm better than you, but I actually have a nicer lifestyle and a better apartment than some of these, and all these things riches that I've earned on my own without having to be famous and thinking I'm above people because I decided to be an actor, So it's something that I feel like you treat everybody with respect. You get to know everybody. You don't judge people. You don't just you give everybody a chance. That's really where I'm getting at with the ego thing, and not coming off as you're better than everybody else.
You're not taking people personal.
No, not at all.
And I think that's having no ego at all. When you don't take people personal.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's mostly, I'm at the point in my life where I just want to go home after I work and stuff like that and relax, and sometimes go out with my son. So if I see a group of people that want to talk about business, want to have lunch, I'm open to it. But if somebody tells me, hey, let's go party, depending on the situation, sometimes I go because it can be an opportunity to meet somebody that I can do business with.
But you're aware of those opportunities.
Yeah.
So those are two different, you just talked about two different parallels of yourself.
I agree.
This is me, I'm going to explain it how I saw. This is one situation where this is you for fun. And then the other one was you for real. You seriously, the professional you, okay, I'm doing this according to my long-term goal. Even the party atmosphere is a little bit more upper echelon, higher quality for your liking, right? So you always have to be on the professional you. If you're going to go out and have fun, you have to have fun professionally as a PR person, because you are a business and you know that you're going out for a specific reason, and you know how to conduct yourself as an actress or actor in an atmosphere like that, knowing you have a business that you're conducting. Like Johnny was saying earlier, Stoney said, you're taking your business everywhere, right? And you are performing a different department of your business.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool. And that's us being conscious of departmentalizing our entrepreneurialism. Some entrepreneurs might pigeonhole it and or clock out, and not realize that they're always working, 24/7. Even the way you sleep.
And I think with the ego too thing, it's a direction, man. it's supposed to drive you into your goals or drive you into what you want to, like the physical. You know, it's supposed to it should be beneficial. You know, like if you have those two different parallels and you fighting in between them, how do you incorporate them? You know, how do you have a club scene but still be able to perform your job? You know, and then go back home and relax to what you want. You know, the ego should drive you into building that, you know?
Totally. And that's being a wise decision maker. And I think that the way we addressed it, now all of us, like, I haven't went out to party for fun in years. Just from coming from the entertainment world, I get called to go promote a brand in an entertaining way. And it's limited my acceptance of that side of myself where I just want to go have fun without a purpose, you know? So
yeah.
I think that's where we're at, you know, like we know we have the purpose, and that's the realizing our purpose is something that we have to be aware of, you know? That's for sure. Like, man, that's wild. That's
2 cents right there, if you don't mind me sharing.
Go ahead.
My ego used to always not come out, but told by people. You're like, your ego is going to be your worst enemy. And I didn't know what they used to always tell me that. But it was because I wasn't confident. They were like, Johnny, you always got to come back. You always got to be right. You're always going to be funny. You're like, but, you know, I didn't realize that I was making them feel bad because it was my ego like, oh, I got to be cool. I got to do this. I got to do that.
Yeah.
I got to be. But you could still be confident and not affect anybody.
Right, because you have a purpose. There's a reason for you doing all of that stuff. Like
I could walk into a taco store and get a taco, and my ego won't affect my title. Or I could get a really expensive restaurant and still be okay, not affecting anybody. Because to me, my ego went away. Like, I deal with really high-end people, and then I'll have my worker who's a painter. So, you know, I treat them adequately, because then otherwise they're going to be like, oh, that asshole Johnny. Because if I will go back to my old self, they're going to be like, oh, man, Johnny he's just fucking around. Like, he's doing this, he's doing that. So my ego was not to be right all the time. You can't be perfect. I mean, you could be.
Hello? Johnny's called. Yeah, Johnny's called.
Yeah, he lost.
What were you going to say, Jessica? I know you kind of chimed in.
Oh, yeah, no, I wanted to cut in because, like, I mean, yeah, but sometimes gender does play a role, and I don't mean to sound sexist, but I hate shit like that.
Wow. I love the way you brought that up, because I think, like, I wasn't even addressing the feminine energy within that at all. Like, for me, like, you know, that's crazy, because, like, for me, I've run into a lot of different situations. Some might have been negatively played or positively played because of how people view my transparency and how I'm very open, but then I'm very, very confident too. But I actually see a different part of people. Like, it's like being a mama's boy or something. Like, yo, you got to be a gentleman all the time. And when I do express my confidence, it's because for me, I feel like, oh my God, I could see something, and they're not seeing it because they're in the situation like that they're in right now. Maybe if I make a comment, then it might open their mind to what I'm viewing, and you know, and I don't like to manipulate people, you know, but I know that now, like, you know, you could walk in the club and people will envy you because of how you walked in the club. You know, nowadays, and it'll turn the whole night into upside down. So that's you know, I think it's just about being aware of our ego, you know, because it shines no matter what.
Yeah, like driving it home. You know what I'm saying? Our ego, your ego shouldn't define everything you do, you know, or push everything. Sometimes like you said, through circumstances, to be able to back off, you know, and be like, hey, I may not be able to turn up too much in this kind of environment, you know.
Right.
You know, and just settle in and just take in and express it a little bit and test it. But, you know, know when, you know what, I'm not even going to go, you know.
Go against
you know? Yeah, I'm not going to go against it.
So isn't that almost embracing your weakness?
Yeah, it's, you know, we all have negatives, you know, and we can't ignore it. We can't just say, I'm positive. We have to, our job is to deal with our negatives, you know, so our positives can overwhelm our negatives, you know, and we don't even have to worry about that. The negatives bring stress. It's like, dang, what I got to do later on. Once that stuff is too many positives where everything's in line, that's why planning is really deep. You know, that negative don't even mean anything. You know, it's like, oh, I could deal with that, you know, or, you know what I'm saying, I already got something for that. You know, and it's a balance. It's a balance. It's with the feminine aspect of it. Yeah, we have a masculine and a feminine energy, men. You know, and we have to. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we gotta bow down to our feminine aspects. You know, and allow you know, and be directed by our women. You know, women we involved with. We got to put them on the forefront because sometimes they get it more than we do. But we always want to be up forefront, you know, being the soldier. But when we go lay down, we lay down next to a female. You know, she knows all our gossip and stuff because we need to vent. We need to balance ourselves out, you know. We need to get all that negative energy out, you know what I'm saying, all that masculine energy out. And, you know, your feminine counterpart, which could be your mom, your sister, you know, your lady, you know, she's the one that takes that in and kind of brings you back to common sense, you know, at times.
That's cool.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I heard you.
Sorry if you guys hear my son in the background.
No, that's cool. That's cool.
He's adorable, man.
Say hi, Jacques.
What's up, man?
Yeah, I've been doing so much while we've been having all these conversations.
What happens to your mom? Multitask.
Yeah.
I think being a parent helps you become a better business person.
Seriously.
You learn to deal with multiple things at once.
That's cool. So can I throw another concept of independence at you guys?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, all right. Independence from our older knowledge, so we're able to receive new knowledge. Letting go of old belief systems to embrace new ones.
Anybody gonna go first?
I'll go if you allow me. I'll go.
I'll go after because I'm about to get in my garage and sometimes the call gets cut off.
Okay,
no doubt.
Okay. Man, I think that's a must, bro, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like we're in between so much that we're at the point where we're the new leaders, man. You know, we're dads trying to figure out how to be dads. You know, because our parents had to work or they was really stuck in the system to where they couldn't pay any attention to us. So we had to a lot of us had to figure stuff out on their own. Yes, we may have certain singular guidance, but they were built in certain concepts, like you said, with religion or occupation system. You know, so yeah, I feel like we have to be the new leaders, and I feel like it starts from your base, like us understanding how we have to decipher the negative and the positives. That, you know, we have to start to build, and we have to build with our kids. We have to build with our friends who we bring in. You know what I'm saying? We have to build with the people who we actually around, because if you can change their mindset, then your community is based on a common ground. You know what I'm saying? And then you feel like, all right, my kids can be, you know, I can have my kids. Like, think about, remember, we used to be able to roam around, you know, any and everywhere. But nowadays, like, for my kid, I don't kind of want him roaming around. because we're in a trap era now, you know, and it's because they don't have guidance. These kids don't have guidance. They're basically are getting filtered in through the TV. Their role models, the TV. There's no daddy role models anymore. There's no mommy role models no more. You get what I'm saying? There's no even church. So church is so messed up. The police is so messed up. You know what I'm saying? They can't be our role models anymore. We had them as role models. Remember? There was a time where we had them as role models, and some of our parents were still role models. But a lot of us had to figure it out on their own, you know, and we came with this independent but yet community, a respect for another's opinion, and, you know, your friends, you know what I'm saying, your cousin. You know, we was like the little rascals who had to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, like, we really need to filter in. We need to respect what we got, the knowledge we got by just being thrown out there, and we need to give these concepts and battle those old school concepts and mindsets. That means you might have to battle your mom. That means you have to battle your priest. That means you might have to battle a police officer and say, look, man, you should be passing out baseball cards like you used to. But now you're quick to pull out your gat and shoot somebody. And I have a kid. My kid, remember we used to be able to play with toy guns. Yeah. Now I'll go crazy if I see my kid running around in the front of the yard with a gun. Yeah. Because they could pull up on him and take him out. Like, hey, we thought it was a real weapon. Like, that's the reality we living in. And we have to, if we don't step into the forefront, it may get worse. You know? So I think I totally agree with that. Like, we have to, we're the new concepts, you know, but it starts as a family base. You know, then it filters into everything else.
And I think that the professional you and people realizing who they are allows for any family to be healthy. When you put a group of people as a family together and they're each self-aware, all conscious, and the way they teach each other and they embrace their interaction is based on growth and they're there to build on each other, I think then that allows for the community that they're in to be able to practice that same dynamic. I'm not saying everybody needs a picket fence, but everybody needs to be aware that if you're present in a situation and you feel the negative energy, it's because you're there to be the solution. You know, and if you allow something to pass you by because you think the world doesn't revolve around you, well, you're the one that's part of the segregation, the separation. We're unified, but we have to be aware of our unity. Meaning that I'm put in this position, and I see you trip and fall because I'm here to catch you and create a friendship. There's something that is going to blossom long term. That was just the situation, the excuse to be able to create a long-term situation or create a long-term lesson.
Right.
Okay. All right. Independent of distractions, independent of thoughts as distractions. Being in the present, being in action.
Jessica says she was going to go next because of the...
Yeah, no, she dropped. Yeah, her call dropped.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was.
I'll give you a good one.
Okay.
I recently went through separation and running, you know, like Sony said, you go back to your wife and, you know, she hears all the, you know, gossip and all that stuff. It's true. You do go back to a woman. The majority of my mentors are women. Mm-hmm. For some reason, they're powerful women, and I respect women, you know, the same way we respect the men, because they got it harder too as an entrepreneur. Because think about it, they're already a woman, so they're like, oh, she can't beat me. I'm a guy. I'm a CEO. Yeah. So for me, letting them, you know, I've stepped down and let them mentor me. But doesn't mean I depend on people or even for example, my own mom. You know, I talk to her, but I don't agree all the time with her. But I still let her talk to her because that's all she knows.
Right.
She's like, you don't need an office. I'm like, well, if I sit here and explain to you why I do need it, you know, I'm going to make her feel bad. And, you know, that would be my ego saying, oh, you know, you
I have to be right.
You know. Yeah, exactly. So just having awareness of that, I think, you know. What was that?
That's cool. I like that.
Sorry, I missed out on most of the conversation.
No worries. You back. We're in transition to the new topic. Yeah. Go ahead, John. What were you saying? Yeah.
Let her know the topic.
Yeah, I was going to say independence of thoughts and distractions. Like sometimes I feel like our thoughts or whatever we think are our thoughts sometimes become distractions. It's been something that's kind of said a lot. When you allow a thought to begin to repeat, it starts to influence the action. And once that thought has already fueled up and became an action, there's no control over where the action could take you. At the point when you get a thought, you have the opportunity to direct the action that's about to happen. Some people receive a thought or whatever they think a thought is, and they might receive it in a negative receiving, and they might influence it in a negative way and experience it in a negative way, not realizing the positive attributes of that situation. I feel like every situation has its polarities, has its negative and its positive way of experiencing it. Sometimes, depending on what we're focused on or how we look at things, we only see one side or the other, or sometimes we see it both and we become neutral to the situations.
So going back to what I was saying, I'm already running a business, going through a breakup. If I would have said, I'm going to sit here and cry, you know, then I would be in a hole, not doing anything. My evil thoughts, I could have been like, man, F that woman, she left me here. But instead, like Valen said, controlling your thoughts, you just got to see the positive out of it. It is a bad thing to the people that look at it from the outside as a bad thing, you know. But for me, it's like, oh, you know what? There's a reason why it's happening. I have to see the silver lining to it. It's a lesson here. So controlling the thought of like, oh, you know, it's the end of the world. This is gonna happen. That's that. I'm like, my way of controlling those thoughts is just like, no, there's something positive here. There's a lesson to be learned. You know, like Valen said, you got to see them both ways. I'm not going to say, oh, it is bad, technically.
Yeah, but there's something on the other side always. Even when there's something good happening, you just might be in a good mood. That's why you see whatever happened as a good situation, not realizing how it affected you negatively. Because you're not in a negative mood to see it. You get what I'm saying? And sometimes I feel that the situation we have no control over. We just have control over what side of perceiving the situation we get to see.
So that's my way of controlling my thoughts. You know, I have to see things both ways. I'm very optimistic, so I'm like, you know, even if I'm very, like Stoney, I forgot, was it you? You can't be positive 100% of the time. It's something, you know, the bad part comes in, but it's how you deal with it. Mm-hmm. For example, before I used to be all crazy, like, oh, I got this, and take business home, and then my kids would be like feeling those bars, like why, what's going on? But now I control it. I'm like, I check out. My mind checks out. You know, like, okay, but I have to control my mind and say it could be negative, but I'm like, you know what? Why do I have to bring it here? Now I'm like freaking them out. Right. But it's just the way you control the scenario. controlling those bad thoughts. It already happened anyway, so just it is what it is. You're just gonna have to deal with it the next day, and that's it.
You controlling it, but see, you like I said, you controlling it with other positives. You have other positives in your life to make you not even to filter it out. You, like you said, you filter it out. So yes, it's a negative, and yes, we're going to deal with negatives. You know, I deal with negatives all the time. You know, and it's in my inner circle. You know what I'm saying? With the people I truly, truly love. You know, but I only could be positive, because if they see the negative in me, it builds up the negative. You know, and then that's even more that I'll have to work with, or I may have to sacrifice that relationship. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm in positive. You know what I'm saying? And I only can make them understand it that way. You know, you're sacrificing yourself when you actually cope or say, hey, I have to go negative. Once you go negative, that is going to come back. You know, you're going to have to deal with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you filter it out. The way you just said, you filter it out because there's other positives, because you could look at your kid, or you could look at your wife, or, you know what I'm saying, or we may have conflict with our mom, but she's still our mom. She gave us birth. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, even though and then you are, you know, like, dang, I may have suffered because of you, right, but I also blossomed because of you. I exist because of you. So there's more positives than negatives to me. You get what I'm saying? Because there's certain circumstances she went through that I don't understand. And when you don't understand it, you automatically have to, you know, you have to let it be.
And you know what that makes me think of? Exactly how you express the feminine, and us having a way out the negative side by embracing the feminine side of ourselves inside.
Yeah.
Like, and that's, you said, like, that's the mother nature within us. That's us embracing what really wants to continue to grow.
I agree on that, Valen. You know, that's another insecurity for most men. And they're like, oh, I'm a man. I can be like, you know,
and I would even say let's look at it like this now, since we're in a conscious conversation. Instead of us allowing it to be an insecurity, let's call it, they haven't been taught or educated on how to open up and talk about that feminine side of themselves, to embrace it and know how to conduct it openly, instead of just with their mom, with their daughters, with their kids, and with their loved ones. You know, they have to realize that love is something that is universal, that you have to give to the air around you. You have to give it to the couch that you're sitting on. You have to give it to the wall that you're looking at. All of those things. Like, you have to open up, and that's something that, for me personally, I wasn't taught that at a young age, how to do that. And I think that we need to be able to bring that conversation to the front. Men don't know how to access that stuff all the time. Sometimes females too. But men, we've been conditioned to be into that competition, that fight mode, so we close off that love towards everything, and we only love what we're focusing on. We become passionate about only what we're focused on, and it causes a negative vibe around everything else that might stop what we're focused on, and that's not balanced.
That's amazing what you just said, man. You broke it down right there, and just to build on it a little bit, through circumstances, man, like, people will say, hey, you being a little, you know what I'm saying, about this, and, you know, they're saying, oh, you being a sucker about this, you being a sucker about that, but it's like, I don't need to do that. It's negative. I don't want to bring that energy to me. You could go do you because you have your independence, but later on, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to be right here, and I'm still going to filter love to you. You get what I'm saying? Because that, I'm positive vibe. I just didn't want to experience that. And that's what we have to accept at times, is that some, you know, people can't push for you, and especially when you're driving them to a negative. You know, now, if it's a circumstance where I need, like, it's an emergency and I need to step, I'm doing it on a positive way. You get what I'm saying? Like, if something happens to you where you hurt, I'm coming in positive. It may be resulting to some negative stuff on that end, but I'm coming positive, you know, with a positive to that situation. Wow. You know what I'm saying? and it changed the whole dynamic, and that's balance. And it's like, oh, all right, you know how like tribes, you know, when somebody do some mischief, you know what I'm saying, it's a balance, you know, and maybe they took that person's life, but it was because they did something that couldn't stay in its existence. You get what I'm saying? It was something that had to get rid of it. But if the tribe stayed positive.
No. So now let's talk about that. Yesterday, and it's all over social media. We're gonna add this into the call. During this time, and I'm gonna make it a timeless conversation. I'm not even gonna attach it to current events. I'm just gonna say it's been timeless. Okay. Where there has been killings by the authorities when it comes down to people of imprisonment or people that have been criminalized, all the way back to ancient times when they had, you know, slaves in Egypt, all those Egypt and indentured servants in Europe, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's been a lot of deaths from authorities onto the captured. Currently, we're in the 2000s, and the more current in the later 2000s, like closer to the 2020s. It's coming to where police activity has been very, very prone to being publicized that police are killing out of control, meaning they're oppressing people that they're targeting, and they're random killings that are happening. Now, I'm not saying that there's good or bad, but what I want to address is the way these killings are being promoted to the public is in a specific way. It doesn't come with a solution package attached to it. It just comes with, oh my God, this just happened, and this is bad, and it's very bad. And it doesn't come with a solution package given by the people that we call our authorities. Now, for me personally, believing in the government structure because we have to, and that's what we've been taught, I would expect the media as being one of the main corners of the government that controls our mind and the way we live. I would think that they would be conscious enough to send out their news with a solution package with it. What do you guys think about how media or situations of authority doing unlawful acts is just thrown at us through the media without a solution?
If I can go first. That would be
go ahead.
cool.
Definitely.
Personally, I'm pretty skeptical when it comes to our government, so I don't consider myself from any party anymore or anything like that, but I feel like there's a hidden agenda. Every time I read stuff about that, there has to be a hidden agenda, because I feel like they're trying to make it seem like it's a common thing to happen, like it's okay for this kind of violence and this kind of illegal acts to continue to happen, so that people do become fearful and also to be afraid to stand up for themselves. Because there's tons of people, especially our younger generation, that are waking up and realizing what, like, the older people have been. Our generation, us young people, are like us, Valen, in our age group, we got fucked over the most when it comes to, like, our government, right? We've been hit the hardest. We're going to get fucked over when we're getting older. So to me, I see it being a part of a whole big agenda. And one of the things it's not that I'm not against banning guns, but I don't want to give up my right to bear arms. And that's a whole other topic of why. But it seems like really like our government is really just trying to get that agenda going, or at least that's my view and my opinion about all that all that violence going on in a daily basis, because it has gone higher, and there is even statistics that could prove that there's more killings and more people dying every year from these so-called attacks and how they're happening. And then there's also, like, reading conspiracy theories and stuff like that, which are pretty entertaining. But, yeah, I mean, pretty much it's, to me, a hidden agenda, bottom line.
I think, personally, that we're living in a country that the general public does not understand. For our generation, we weren't given an instruction manual on how to be an American citizen, and there's people that are immigrating into this country and they have to get taught how to be a citizen, and we didn't get that because we were born here, and I think that we take that for granted, and we don't know about those structures and how we could be participants in those structures and how to utilize those structures. So there's a gap of communication from the general public up to the governing system. For me personally, I think that when it comes down to bridging that gap, it takes knowledge, it takes education, and I think that the education that one might get of the government structure and how they can participate in the system as a citizen, the knowledge that they get will give them the liberation, to give them the independence to actually make a difference and actually participate in changing or playing a role in the balancing of the system that we're living in. Like, there's a lot of people that go from high school getting a general education, and then they automatically get sent into a specific area without having a broader, like, instead of broadening their education, they pigeonhole their education as soon as you leave high school. They say you only have to focus on this, and you're never going to learn about any other things because we need you to do this only. And that's kind of what our society is structured in that way. I think for us as conscious people, it's our responsibility to then address that element and let people know that at the time when you leave basic high school, it's time to diversify your knowledge and continue your knowledge seeking in your interested areas and go continue that knowledge seeking long term. I feel that the system that we live in, it was created, it was given to us by it was granted to us by the Europeans, so we're utilizing an old system of government, a system of practice. It's old, so old that it's not up to date to the technology and the way we're thinking about ourselves as human beings. And I think that the lack of knowledge of how to be a part of that system gives us that gives us that gap and that void that we're seeking to be filled. Like, we need to educate ourselves, place ourselves in the proper positions as the next generation to be able to utilize the system and control it in a way that could create the society that we envision and we have and that we see inside,
I agree on that. Going back into a ProWorldLife way of thinking, and then touching in with Stoney with his previous subject, sometimes you really can't change some person's way of thinking. So just imagine somebody from the hood would have saw that video. They would have been like, oh, let's go. That's crazy. Let's start a mob. And you'll have somebody else with a broader mindset. They're going to be like, oh, that's going on, But then different people will think differently and assess the situation. Just like the way I think, I can expect everybody to think the same way. I just have to, just accept what's going on. I won't be around that certain person, and sometimes you really can't make people think a certain way. You're just going to have to accept that. And, just to give you a quick example, where we live on today, there's hardly any really big violence except for terrorism and, like, random things like that. I was talking to like one of my little cousins, that he went to uni, and I told him, uni back then, used to be like this. He's like, what? That happened? There was a big cocaine in West LA? That's a way of thinking, there's really not much craziness happening right now except this. I feel like Jessica's saying, are they trying to just get away with one thing, or is this happen? Can it be a conspiracy? And it could be many things.
No, well, what I think it is, Johnny, is this, that the people that created the system, they created this system to be in activity or to be relevant for over thousands of years. They created a system that they wanted in place for thousands of years. So we're realizing that we're just a couple hundred years into the first 1,000 years that they've created a plan for. You get what I'm saying? So we have the opportunity to either be the products of not understanding the long-term plan and not putting our goals on that type of timeline and feeling like we're going against the grain or the grain is going against us, or we could look at it from a long-term, broader spectrum that what we're doing in our lifetime is going to affect thousands of years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I'll build. We're going to leave an impact.
My perspective on it. I think it's deeper than that, man, because dealing with, always breaking through to mainstream with sports, I found out that contract and reading through contracts, a lot of it's crazy how the cops are, but they're signed to a contract. They have an oath. A lot of them really can't speak out because they're a team. If the heads of if they controlling stuff and saying, hey, we gonna create these scenarios where y'all might have to take out a couple of people just to stir them up and scare the community. If we're not a strong community, if we all think independently, as long as they don't touch ours, we're not gonna even worry about it. Back then, if somebody would have got killed when the Black Panthers, you know what I'm saying, or when those street gangs was really active because they was community-based at first. They got infiltrated. They was protecting their block. They was protecting the future, the young ones, until, economic hit, and then they started making money off drugs, then it filtered into everything they was doing, so.
Well, I think when it comes down to those systems, sorry to cut you off.
Now it's like, right now it's at a slate to where it didn't catch all of us. And now we're adults. And now it's this clean slate, and then the internet hit to where we could research on the truth. And the truth is out there. Now the challenge is the ones that are waking up and creating these new tribes. They're saying, hey, I'm bringing back the family concept. I'm working independently. I don't need to go through the school structure. I don't need to go to the government. You know what I'm saying? I could create something unique and build myself up as a millionaire. The thing is when you start working with your community and they start seeing these communities work without their systems, they don't want that. So they fear us.
What I think is like this.
Contracts in these certain people, because there's certain levels to certain things. You know what I'm saying? We might know millionaires, but it's billionaires now. It's a billionaire game now.
But what I think is this. I think you nailed it on the head.
We have to understand is that a lot of these people, like these people like church, they deal with a certain system. The school system, you don't hear teachers out, our principals out speaking like, hey, the cops is killing our kids.
Right.
And they coincide with each other. The school systems are quiet because they work with the police. The churches work with the police.
So now, that's what I'm saying. So there's a part of the system. So what we got to understand is deeper than that, and a lot of these people are silenced through their contracts. I agree totally. I totally agree.
ProWorldLife is beautiful because it's
I think that's where Valen is coming in with a new millennium.
So we need to have the resources and the information,
that is perfect,
and we need to have security structures so that our communities and the people can actually trust us.
No, so listen, Tony. Now you just nailed it. Like let me land on this because you addressed a lot of different topics.
Like I'm not going to go against the government. You know what I'm saying? Without knowing that my son's going to be taken care of. That's my first mission.
Right.
Make sure my
what does that entail? What does that entail?
And once that's taken care of, then I can stand. You know what I'm saying? That's why there's no leaders and you shouldn't just say, oh, that person's a leader because they speak well, or they do this, or they have this amount of money, because that's what the kids are idolizing now, and that's why BET and all these networks and stuff like that, in these certain ways of life, and these football stars, that's why they're getting idolized, because we don't, like I said, it goes back to our dads are not our idols anymore. Our moms are not our idols. We're chasing after an image. And the image is controlled. The image is under contract. So we have to fully understand that, and we have to build, and that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make sure that they can infiltrate any structure that we build up. So that's why
I think it's opposite. I think it's opposite. Let me address this. Let me address this.
And be able to support like ProWorldLife.
Let me address. I totally agree when it comes down to resources.
And grow as a community.
Well, look,
a family and community. Because those are the things that they're after. So I mean, that's my concept. I mean, I could elaborate deeper, but
well, listen.
I'll leave it at that.
You addressed a couple. Can you hear me? Hey guys, you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, cool. All right, so what, Stoney, you said that something about our culture and how it's changing and it's creating a new system. Now,
right.
The only reason that someone could create a new system within a previous existing system is using the old system's elements. So you have to use pieces of what was already there to create something new. Now, the pieces that people are searching for now, like a lot of these cultures are using now, are very, very temporary resources. There's people that are utilizing technology and trying to create new cultures.
Go to sleep.
They're utilizing other different areas of resources and creating these temporary cultures. These temporary cultures are global cultures that have a short life expectancy, meaning they're not as old as some of the cultures that are around. You can look at the Native American culture, and they're living off of a system that was ancient. Right? Now, there's people that have existed in between that time and today that are utilizing temporary resources that have nothing to do with the long-term system that is in place for thousands of years. The long-term system that's in place for thousands of years is only being managed by a certain circle of people.
Right.
These people are conditioned to understand once they reach a certain level of knowledge that they're supposed to apply that knowledge and into their activity, into their actions. That's why you see certain people stick out like sore thumbs, and they call them revolutionaries, because they have digested the information of their experience, and they're reading into the system that is in place for thousands of years, and they understand the language. So they're able to flow with a bigger system, do things a little bit quicker compared to the person that might not be rooted in a long-term system, because they're rooted into a temporary system, meaning this system is only going to be around for 100 years, and then your culture is going to change. Then you're going to go into a different culture. Then your whole identity is going to change, because you're only you're only part of the temporary cycles. You understand what I'm saying?
It's like you're saying, pillars in school. Elementary is different from junior high. Junior high is different from high school. High school
now
is,
for us,
college is a whole different dynamic, you know?
Totally. So now for us, like you were saying, the system that is failing, it might be the school system right now, and that's only been around for a couple hundred years, right? You get me?
Right.
So
that's the biggest one.
Right. So these are just things that are temporary systems that we were born into, believing that they were correct. That might not be. Their life expectancy might be crashing. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. That's true.
So in reality, like you were saying, ProWorldLife and developing a healthy conversation and bringing new resources and new minds to go and seek deeper resources is the evolution of where we are consciously as people. Like, they're people that seek knowledge on a daily basis, and they practice independence in that way by seeking knowledge. It allows them the freedom to make broader decisions on a global, universal scale. I feel that that's the purpose that we're bringing to the table, recognizing old systems that might not be as, I guess, as ripe. You know, they're a little bit expired, you know, so we have to clean them out the closet. But there's an overall long-term system that's in place, and it's been in place for thousands and thousands of years. And some of the indigenous cultures are really, really rooted in it. I feel some of the cultures that we practice on a capitalistic level are rooted in it, and that's why they're on a global level, because there's systems in place like breathing, like urinating, like defecating, like practicing sleep, etc. There's a lot of things that have been happening for thousands and thousands of years that have nothing to do with the cultures and the societies that are being practiced currently, globally.
100%, man. 100%.
So now let me
Tony, you went deep. I feel like I was watching a movie. I was like, oh, man, I feel like I'm watching a movie right now.
Yeah, what's good, everybody?
Cool. It is
true. Just trying to say what's up, this NC.
Yo, what's up, NC Abram?
What's going on, man?
How you feeling?
Doing well, man. Cannot complain. So we were just kind of discussing on a conscious platform about our views of different aspects of independence. And we were addressing, like, independence on a mental level, on a spiritual level, physical level, and an emotional level, and how it affects people on a global, universal platform.
Definitely.
So, yeah, like, chime in and kind of, like, you know, just jump in, man. Like, feel free to introduce yourself. Let everybody know who you are, kind of like what aspect of, you know, the call you're chiming in on, and then let us know your views of independence on any of those levels.
Word. Well, I'll just try to be quick. I'm actually just jumping off set. I just hit my man Will, and I told him that I was working on set today and I wouldn't be able to make the call, but he hit me, told y'all still going. My name is NC Abram. I'm an artist. I'm an actor. I'm a humanitarian. And I'm an all-around do-gooder. I recently just returned back from West Africa, where I took my own organization where I call Rhythm and Remedy Where Hip Hop Helps, to launch our first Music, Art, and Education Institute. The organization is about using our platform as artists and as actors to utilize our voice, cultivate change. And Will's kind of the first person who kind of put me onto that and let me know that I can use my voice to empower others. And I've been doing so ever since. And God has blessed me, man. I've been to the White House. I've been to Africa. I've been doing so many great things with so many great people, man. And he gets all the glory. But I just wanted to stop in, introduce myself, you know, meet some good folks. I heard it was some very good, engaging conversations. I chimed in. I kind of heard the last one, what you were speaking on, man. But it's really good to hear like-minded individuals seeing that. And I think you said something about, like, how these old formulas need to be recreated, basically. You know what I mean? Like, ain't nothing new under the sun, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, but what we need to do is take everything, like they say, the rules ain't broke, don't fix it. Take those things, but try to reinvent them. Like, use your creativity, you know what I'm saying? Like, use your mind to see what can you bring to something that's been done 100 times. You know what I'm saying? What different can you bring to kind of cultivate something more actively, like through your gift, through what God blessed you. He blessed you to do something special. Everybody got a gift. Everybody got a skill. And, like, I actually, when I first got a chance to get a little knowledge from the ProWorldLife, it actually touched me just to change my path. And I'm really focused on a lot of different things. And it seems like we've got a lot of great, like-minded individuals together, and I'm happy to be a part, man. So much love, man. I'll continue to let y'all flow through the end out.
Word up. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, NC.
Much love.
That's beautiful.
So, yeah, so let's address this one more topic I want to throw. Well, go ahead.
I'm going to put my 2 cents in that. For me, what he said was one of the best things that helped me create what I created. It's already happening. There's whatever, even the government, whatever's going on, if you're trying to make something good, you're just going to have to do it in a modern way. Like my business, it's been done for years, but how can I give something better that's up to date? I'm not recreating, I'm just making it better. Same thing with we're not fighting against the system, we're just working with it, and we're not going to break laws or do crazy things. I mean, we could bend them a little, but, we are creating something for the modern, ways of thinking.
Yeah, they're not wearing afros like they used to. You know what I'm saying? So we have to manicure the fashion of today, for the mind of today. And the mind of today is totally global. The mind of today is totally hip. The mind of today is grounded in their spirituality. They believe in who they are. A lot of today people, and it's not saying you have to be of a certain age. I talked to my grandmother, she's 82 years old, and she is more hip than a lot of these women out here. So it's really just the people that are ones to make the world go round. They have a true mental independence, a spiritual independence, an emotional independence that grants them a physical independence that makes them feel like magic is happening. And that's what I feel when we practice a certain type of principle etiquette and we embrace a certain discipline within a habit, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, that is independent. Our body goes through a transition that we could only say is divine. It's only say it's like the grace of God. It's being, you're independent of control, meaning you've surrendered to a higher being and you relinquished your control to that being, and that being is utilizing all of your talents and all of your gifts to the fullest potential, and you're able to experience a different essence of your being, like while you're here. And I feel it's all rooted and linked together. I feel that when we're distracted, and like I said, distracted by thoughts, distracted by not having a goal, distracted by confusion, that distraction is something that we're fighting in today's world. People have been born into a way of digesting knowledge and information in means of it being fed to them. And there hasn't been a system really embraced into the family dynamic that encourages creative expression and freedom of expression on a grander scale. And I think that organizations like Rhythm and Remedy, NC, and like HNDP, what I've experienced is that being able to allow a child to do what they truly want to do is a gift from God, is a blessing. It changes the dynamic of a family. I was dealing with a 5-year-old little girl that helped write a play and perform it, and her family didn't even believe that she was creative. They sat there and almost cried in the audience. Like, you have to allow the people to creatively express themselves. There's things in the parents' minds that they have never let out creatively. Us as entrepreneurs, us as people that are progressive and kind of the go-getters, we create creative solutions, or we embrace creative solutions. We are open to receiving creative solutions, which balance out our emotions when we're going through ups and downs, balance out our spirituality, continue to allow us to grow mentally, which allows our physical body to experience a cool little, shift in the world. We could see where our thoughts are impacting things on global scales, universal scales. We have a lot of work to do, but conversations like these allow people like us to kind of vent. allow us to, be independent of other type of content. We got something that we could always look forward to, and we always know that we're creating it for the generation to come, our new generation. And when I say generation, meaning how we generate energy. The next time we generate global energy, we have a platform and a foundation to send it from now. You understand what I'm saying, guys? Like, generation means every time the universe generates new, amazing things that haven't been created before, and we happen to be on the forefront of the new generation.
That's word, man. And I just want to give thanks, man. And I'm glad this platform, I'm glad I'm part of ProWorldLife. I'm glad I was able to digest the handbook, because it uplifted me, man. It put me on another frequency, man. And it made me look at, my family, my friends, the people I communicate with in a different way. I had experience, and I deal with certain people, and I felt like I created, I was at a certain stature, but I mean, experiencing that book, man, you know what I'm saying, it pushed me to say, hey, you know what? I need to be a voice. My voice needs to be left in this world, at least for my kids, or not even for just my kids, man, for the youth. You know what I'm saying? Because there's not a lot of father figures, and for you to create something like this, you know what I'm saying, you being a mother's, you being a masculine, a father, you know what I'm saying, a father, how, it's hard to explain, but you being a father figure to a lot of kids, man, not just the ones, you may consume. It's, you being a father to my child, you being a father to other people's child. This stuff they need to hear too. At a certain age, once they get to able to comprehend, they need to hear stuff like this, because they're going to be the ones to push it forward.
Totally. That's what I'm doing it for. Like with you guys on board with continuing to embrace the message, like I truly believe that it's something for the generations to come, that this is going to be an amazing platform, and ProWorldLife is going to be in a community and a lifestyle that everybody will be able to embrace for the betterment of the globe and for the universes, like truly. One thing, and I'll let this be the last topic, I feel that we all have to be independent of excuses.
I agree.
I agree.
Well, it's an ability to create more, because then if you're having excuses, then you're showing, I guess, you can't show the work if you're doing excuses yourself. How can you be coming in trying to help somebody when you yourself are doing the excuses? You got to practice what you preach too.
Yeah.
At the same time, we're trying to help people, but whatever, like going back to what Stoney said, whatever treating their kids bad behind the scenes, and then you're over there telling another father, another guy that's trying to jump on the bandwagon, help him out, like, hey, man, you got to do this, and, help yourself, but yet we're not even helping our own selves. So there's no excuse to, not do the right thing. We're trying to move forward as a community globally. And Stoney was right. Nowadays, everybody has internet. I mean, you go to India, third world country, they have internet. I mean, everybody has access to information. So we're trying to present ourselves. We can't have excuses personally, business, or just in general, like, hey, if you're going to go in, you better go all the way in. At least that's what I tell people. Like, if you're going to do something, go 100%. Otherwise, don't even jump in. You're just going to waste somebody's time. You're going to waste somebody else's time. And then it stops right there. So that's my way of thinking for an excuse, I can't be preaching over here doing something when I'm full of excuses myself.
Totally. Any other views on being independent of excuses?
Go ahead, Ted.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
Nah, well, you know what? I had my dad for a short time in this world, but I found out that he was the most influential person in my life, and he told me there's no excuses, there's only situations. So when we eliminate excuses and learn how to cope with situations, you won't have any excuse. You know? So that's just a little concept that I took from.
That's good right there, man.
Yeah, I like that. Jessica?
Yeah, well, I spent most of my early 20s making excuses and making really bad choices because I knew nothing about business. I knew nothing about communication skills and stuff like that. And I don't see them as excuses anymore. I've seen them as a way that I've grown through these experiences that I used to make excuses for, like, I'm like this because of this. No. Or I did this because of this reason. It's more, like Stoney said, it's about making decisions. And that's something, Val and I, off the topic, were talking earlier today. I mentioned that I've always, when I've decided to do something, it's always been the word, I need to decide what I'm going to do next. And it's always been based on decision, not excuses. But, some days I find myself finding an excuse why I don't feel like doing anything for a day. And I think we're entitled to it. So I guess try not to be too hard on yourself when it comes to that. But because of my failures when I was younger, it affected me for like a year. And it took me a while to get where I wanted to be, and I didn't stop from there. Once I set my mind, I've been unstoppable, basically. Thank the universe, I'm blessed, but I still find myself making excuses as to why I haven't really pursued a part of my career as an artist, not as a therapist and a businesswoman, but my career as an artist. So, I've struggled with that and my inner demons about making the excuses. Why haven't I done this? For example, I'll give you a perfect example about something I'm personally going through. I have had this mannequin for about 2 years now, and it's a mannequin, and I said, I'm going to glue black buttons on it one day, and I'm going to sell that art sculpture. But I see the outcome, the end product of me working on the project, right? I see the full-on vision, but I have not taken the time to actually make it happen. The only thing that I've done this week, and I've been sitting on this so-called vision for 2 years already, looking at this mannequin at home. But this week I was like, well, I'm not working on any projects right now. Well, I think I'm going to decide, I had told myself, I think I'm going to decide to just finally work on the mannequin because I have the time for it and I'm not really working on anything right now. So I ordered my supplies and I should be getting them in this week. And then on top of that, I met some people at a collective that are shop owners, and it turns out that they sell fine art there. And I asked them hey, check this out. These are some sketches. Would you be interested in selling my artwork? And they're like, yeah, we got to talk to the other owners, but we may be willing to give you a chance. And, it might be an opportunity for me. But then it's, again, making an excuse because I haven't made the time to make it happen. So breaking away from that, but I don't find myself is exactly making an excuse I can't do this because of this. It's just I have a lot going on. I'm a single parent. There's things that play a role in my life.
Do you feel it as prioritizing?
Oh, yeah. Well, I prioritize my son and his education and his development.
So it's not necessarily you're
one.
looking for excuses. Your mindfulness is prioritized by a different situation. So when it comes down to your creative mind, which for you as being an artist, like you need undivided attention on your creative projects. So right now you're spread thin in that way, so you have to neglect that aspect of yourself, right?
Yeah, absolutely, especially because of my job, right? I'm on call
Right.
most of the time.
So do you think that financial freedom would be able to free up that shackle on the way you embrace creativity? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
You know, so like for example, like us, like for you to have your own branch, and I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna say, you know what? There's this amazing leader. She's aspiring to make amazing differences globally. You guys need to all meet her and join and help support her, and she, you know, meet up once a week with her. That will offset, you know, some of the costs, some of the financial impact, which should be able to give you that freedom, right?
Right.
Having a right team around you to assist in your business and expand on your business, take you off of the table, put you in a boss position to where you have that freedom and luxury, where you could be on the beach, you know, signing clients or you know telling clients where to go with the right system behind you, right?
Yeah, but one thing, oh shit, I kind of lost my train of thought, and I had a point. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's just like I could be doing one project at one point, and then I got called into work, so then I have like 20 more minutes, and then I go back to it. So sometimes, like, I think it's like time, and it's not even being bad with time management, because I'm really good. I'm on top of all my shit. I'm on top of everything.
Right.
Bills, everything, work, bills, my home. I mean, the structure of my day, I write down my day and hope that it goes as planned.
Right.
But then there are those times where I have downtime and I start reading, I start making phone calls and stuff like that. So those are opportunities for me to kind of like, you know, do a little bit of creativity or even write down creative thoughts.
Right.
You know, inspiration or things that you'd like to work on, and kind of write down your desires. And I mean, I feel like I find myself mostly on cloud 9. I feel like I'm just high on life.
So would you? We got a new caller. Let's see who this is. Can you announce yourself?
Raptel.
Oh, what's up, Raptel? How you doing, man?
You put in them hours, you got to work, my boy.
That's great. We're sitting here talking about the concept of the call is independence. And we're talking about different concepts of independence: spiritual independence, mental independence, physical independence, and emotional independence.
Okay.
So, you know, we're just talking about a couple topics. But yeah, man, you know, right now we just finished talking about being independent of excuses, you know, and trying to free ourselves from excuses and being independent of them, and just not looking at like we're not going to create excuses. We have priorities, but we're not going to create reasons to not do something. You know, that's the kind of like the focus of that. So just go ahead and listen. So yeah, just listen in.
Keep going.
Hey, Valen, sorry to interrupt, Valen. I have to go in the elevator right now.
All right.
So it may cut off.
Yeah, if it cuts off, just call back.
Yeah, I was going to say I'll call back.
Okay. I think I was pretty much done with my answer about, you know, freedom of excuses. I mean, basically my bottom line is taking it one day at a time and having some kind of structure, like a notebook, where you have your goals, your daily goals, your financial goals, everything, all kinds of goals, everything.
Totally.
To have some kind of structure. And then, you know, like me, in my opinion, for my lifestyle is, you know, creating time for it. So I need to stop making these excuses. But things that I've changed to help me with that is, like, I changed my diet. I started exercising more I'm at the point where I'm sleeping 6 hours a day now because that's how much energy I have. So,
that's true.
Yeah.
So what would make your whole life, like what would progress you? Alternative revenue streams that you didn't have to manage?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That will definitely. I'd be able to focus 100% on being creative and guiding people.
And I think because over the time of me knowing you in your professional field, I think that you're passionate about what you do, but I think that you've already you've graduated to the point where you're ready to manage that industry in a way, and you don't want to necessarily stay so hands-on. I think you're more in the consciousness of that industry, and you want to guide the industry to a different direction.
Are you talking about massage therapy?
Yeah, just in that way of dealing with things, you know? Like when expanding into like the oils and all those different things, like that's that's not just okay, let me get the money. You're like embracing that gift, and I think you want to dive into it and get a whole, like, you want to master that, you know? And
I do. Ideally, yeah. But it's a lot. That's another conversation. Is way long. It's not for this conference call. But if I could have the opportunity to do some business consulting to help one of the companies that I work with to help them even enhance the revenue, because the vision that I have, I know for a fact because I'm that expert in the field already, that would work for them. But I can't approach them because I feel like they're going to try to steal my ideas. They're a big bad wolf. The company's making $15 million a month now on massage therapy, just massage therapy. So
I think you should do it.
That's what I was going to say, too.
I work for a company that has the same type of company I had. I didn't really steal it. I just made it better.
Yeah, see,
because I have better ideas. You're not really going to steal their stuff. You're just going to create a better empire. And trust me, once you decide to do it, one thing's going to start falling into place, another thing's going to fall into place. Next thing you know, you're going to experience like, damn, I got people working for me, now I can focus on my art. But it's just the fear or the excuse not to do it.
No, I have a lot of honestly, I'm not really interested in really focusing on that field. That's the thing. I love my job. I'm happy and stuff. But
Jessica, realize this. What you're doing.
Stone.
Exactly. But you have to realize that the stepping stone has to be fully embraced for you to see where you're going to step towards.
Right.
And sometimes mastering something and then now, being at the point where, you know what, I need to create my own company from it is going to give you this expertise in company management that has nothing to do with the reason why you're creating a company. You get what I'm saying? Then you're going to have a company to sit down and pass down to your son, pass down to your family off the back. You off the back, and for you to be able to then say, I'm securing his financial freedom. He will never have to work a day in his life. He just has to continue to manage what I'm creating. That's a investment that's gonna be working for hundreds of years. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he's gonna pass it down immediately as well. So I think that's what stage you're at in that level of things, but you have an innovative mind and you need to innovate on what you're doing. And
right.
I feel like with the right team, like we're here supporting you. We're down to sit there and help you create the plan and help put it together part-time on the side, at your leisure to then help you maximize on that time. Because, for example, you might invest 1 hour in having these ideas, but now we all know that you're limited on your time, so then it's time for us to go in and maximize on your guidance and connect all the rest of the dots.
Right.
I think Valen said the right thing. Like, you're not by yourself no more. You got
and I get that.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, now you got business people that are doing that already. Like, you don't have to start from like I did, like from scratch, not knowing anything, and having to learn everything from like point one. Because when I left my job that I used to do, I used to love it. And I was like, man, I could do better. I could make this better.
Yeah.
But I was like, scared. I was like, you know what? Valen touched on a good point. I'm gonna leave this for my kids. They're gonna be like, man, my dad created an empire. Like, they're gonna be good for the future. But and then now it allows me to focus on other things. Like, I could be on this call now, and I could help other people now. And like I was telling Valen earlier, I want to go in production, or I want to do something else. So then having my company will allow me the freedom in the future to do so. Otherwise, I'm going to be stuck like, I got to do it myself. I got to go here. I think you're at that point, too. When I heard you saying it, I was like, that's an easy solution right there. Just, you got people that are already doing it. He could just tell you, like, hey, just go here, do this, do that, try it.
See, but then I have to market, and that's more time.
No, and see, wait, stop. Well, you know what you just did? No, listen. No, she just created an excuse, and she has a team of marketing. Like, we master in marketing, we master in see, we have a property manager, we have management, we have all this right here on this call, and you just threw an excuse. So shame on you, Jessica. Okay.
Hey Val, let me throw a solution at her.
Throw a solution.
Yeah, because
Jessica, you might have to go outside of the element.
Your comfort zone.
There's a lot of soccer players in LA, and they need massages. A flyer or two to the right people may get you some clients, $50, $100 here and there. A lot of guys get cramps, playing out through the week. There's a lot of semi-pro leads out there. I have some contacts, so if it's available, I could just call them up and say, hey, I have a professional masseuse. Like,
we just launched our wellness branch, and we're starting off with massage therapy. We have some of the most experienced celebrity massage therapists in the game, and we have. Let me introduce you to our director that's handling all of the massage therapy, so she could give you the perfect solution for your needs.
Right.
And then she'll be doing the consulting, and we're just going to be backing her, supporting her as her executive branch to push her towards those dreams and freedom. I'm going to explain something to you guys, and I'm going to break it down. There's 5 different people. They have 5 different wants, okay? Right. This first person has a whole lot of time, right? They either want to buy their time, meaning I'm gonna instead of me cutting the grass, I'm going to pay this person to cut the grass. So they're buying an hour for themselves. Or there's a person that wants to sell their time. Okay, my time is worth $300 an hour. Or there's people that want to invest their time, meaning entrepreneurs, they invest their time. Their time is priceless. Then there's the people that all they want is health, okay? So they want financial health, mental health, and physical health. Without financial health, you will never have mental health, and you will never have physical health. Financial health, if you don't have it, you'll starve, and your physique will die, right? Then there's people that want family. You want to be good for your family. You want to be good for your intermediate family, but now with ProWorldLife, you're going to be able to have an extended family that you're going to be able to have as part of your family now. All right? There's people that don't even get an intermediate family that they could depend on, but now you get them both. Also, there's people that want lifestyle, but there's some people that want a hard lifestyle, meaning I'm gonna make a lot of bad decisions, and I'm gonna work till I'm 65. Then there's people that want to do it easy. They usually start a company. You get what I'm saying? They're self-employed. You get what I'm saying? They're investing their time for money. They tell, but basically the money tells them when to eat, when to sleep, and when to vacation. You get what I'm saying? Then you get a business owner. They're basically, it costs to start it, maybe like, for example, like a McDonald's, it costs $1 million, but that $1 million starts to pay you. It gives you free time and you start helping people. Then, or you could become an investor where you're investing your time and everything that you got, and everything that you're investing, it earns you more money for your money. Like money, it happens to be your employee. So, it's just about how you want to live your lifestyle. You get what I'm saying? And some people have wants that are significant, meaning, okay, I want to do this because I want to give to charity, but it's about being well off, being financially free, having communities that are financially free, changing the world so we don't have to worry about drama. And that's where I feel that we are all at. We're at the pioneering stages of creating financial freedom in the next 5 years for ourselves, so we could focus on philanthropy and continue to collect income, and as long as we follow a specific system. It's a quote by Benjamin Franklin, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That means if you fail to make a plan to achieve a certain goal, you're failing to plan. Like you're planning to fail. So what we're here to do is really give each other support system, and then I have the resources like ProWorldLife. We have the business marketing resource. We're doing personal growth and business consulting. So within this company, we have the right resources for you to be able to create a plan that'll be able to you'll put into play for a year. After 6 months, you look at that plan and see if you need to adjust a couple things. After you're a year into your plan, you're just there to then grow at your 5-year goal and sit there at the 5-year point, be financially free for the rest of your life and gaining income as you go. And that's on a part-time level. For a person that's a full-time entrepreneur that wants to fully embrace ProWorldLife and they're going to be able to do that within a year or two. And that's something that, me as one of the first ambassadors, I have a couple side companies that I'm going to be launching as well as managing, my branch for ProWorldLife. But this is what I inspire. That's what I want to inspire everybody that's on this call to realize that this is what I'm doing it for. This is the reason why I'm bringing you guys to the table. I feel you guys have amazing a way of looking at the world that is really, really grounded and universal and beneficial for everybody outside of our communities. And all we have to do is follow our dreams, not make excuses, really be independent enough to run down this race alongside each other independently without affecting each other, but only making each other run faster, more efficiently, more responsibly, meaning we're able to respond to things consciously and with awareness.
That's beautiful, man. And I agree 100% with that.
So I know we've been on the call for a little while. What I want to do is kind of give you guys just a ending. I would love for you guys to invite people to this platform, invite them to these conference calls. If you haven't already, go follow ProWorldLife on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and we have a Facebook page. Those are other communication platforms that we're able to share different information. Since each person should have like a social network or something like that, I would love to be able to, share your content to further embrace what you guys are doing on a personal level and a business level. Also, as prospects and people that I would love to join my branch, when you guys are ready to go through the process of filling out the application, it's a basic process, but what that'll do is give you direct access and a direct, consistent schedule for how we're going to be functioning as ambassadors of ProWorldLife, and it'll It'll give you guys a structure that you guys could apply to your own personal business and your personal lives to help document and project your success towards amazing heights. It's a pleasure for me to have such amazing minds on this call. It's truly like, a blessing for me. This is what I did it for, and I would love for you guys, like I said, to revisit the call next week on Wednesdays. Invite more people to kind of share these platforms. I have a campaign that I'm pushing right now called the Do You Know Who You Are campaign, where I want to interview people on their views on life and different things. But if you go to ProWorldLife.com, ProWorld life.com, then you'll be able to really go in and get further information. And if you have any other questions, feel free to contact me. Do you guys have any final statements that you guys want to share to the public?
Well, I could share this, and you're saying we're having an inner circle. I have a lot of information that has to do with business, and I have a lot of in the floor that I work with. It's all business-minded people, which I have access to. So if you ever plan or want to do something and you need that information, like even Valen could do it, provided I could provide that information. Or if you need something like, hey, I need this service. I know so many people from being all over California, from San Diego all the way to, I can't even think, like Valencia and past Valencia. So I know a lot of people. So context-wise, like my company does, I find solutions. So I tend to meet with a lot of people. So I could provide that to you guys, and, we're part of the inner circle. As much as Valen, he helps me out with certain things that I don't know about. And that's what we're trying to do, too. Within the circle, you have access to it. And I think that's the purpose of ProWorldLife. Once it builds up, we could have access to that information. You're like, hey, well, this person needs that. Well, we got the right people. We'll just make a call and be like, well, we have access to it now. And I think this is like the starting point of that. Like, hey, if you ever want to travel to, like, the guy called Africa, like, where to go? Like, he's been there. Like, things like that, those kind of things. Or if you ever want to do something, like, what do we call?
And also, even to recognize that people are working on that level, that means that their network is very vast, and they have a lot of people in their network that are specialists. So when you have any need, you're never without with us, as long as you sit there and voice your needs, and voice your dreams and your goals. Like, as business consultants and personal growth consultants, we're here to provide those resources, and we're always bringing people to the network to further share those resources. So that's one of the, the really key high strengths of ProWorldLife for sure.
Because, I see it as not just because Valen is ProWorldLife or is leading the campaign, or I own a business, I'm better. It doesn't make me better, but like I remember putting my ego down, I'm always willing to help somebody even create their own thing, because that doesn't affect me. I'm not going to be hiding my, talent to somebody when I can help somebody. And I know that comes back to me one way or the other.
Yeah.
And, that's having, like, it's almost like a mentor, but, you could also see it as a friend. You can see it however. Like,
What we're doing is creating our industry, and, that's something that a lot of people don't know how to do because they haven't been there to do it. If you look back in the day, the people that made the railroads also had the homie that did steel, that, then had a homie that was moving coal, and had a homie that, was mining, underground. So it's a circle of people that create a functioning industry, So for us, like, just to be able to be on the same page and start to initiate that chemistry is what's very, very healthy. And on the side of that, start to recognize each other's specialties and gifts, so that way when we have opportunities and we need certain resources, we have all of that in place and we know how to communicate that.
All Are we going to be using some kind of like online chat room or something?
Yeah, like if you guys like, this platform is actually not just on telephone. It's actually an online platform. So if you guys happen to be on your computer or on a laptop, you'll have an opportunity to go to the actual page and then see some of the resources that I have on the page. Like I have access to the website. I have a link to the ambassador sign up. I have a copy of the Professional You video and the handbook, so if we want to go through it, but it's all on the conference call page. So you know, for future references, we'll be able to do screen sharing if we want to share documents and further do stuff like that. There is a online platform. This is hosted from an online platform.
Cool.
Yeah, I just wanted to say if you guys want to talk about marketing and you guys want to check out my book of business and how I could assist you guys with anything, basically just filter it through Val, and he'll contact me and we could set up something like a meeting through the website or so, or we could set up a meeting where we actually meet up. I just want to support ProWorldLife as much as possible, because I feel like this is part one, and this needs to build up itself as well. So that's all my last piece. I want to tell everybody, peace, love, and understanding, and I'll be looking forward to the next time we meet up.
All right, Stody, thanks.
All right, peace.
Thank you,
Cool.
Stody.
All right. See you guys.
Later, guys. Good night.
Nice.
All right, Val.
All right, Johnny, what'd you think?
Going
Jessica?
well.
Cool. Yeah, no, it was really cool to listen to everybody, and
I really do hope you do the business.
Well,
We're going to do it. It's just going to take time.
no, the thing is that I would like to focus on the product version of the industry, because there's a lot of room and space for growth, but I just can't do this alone anymore.
And well, you got a team. You got a team now.
But honestly, like, for example, I mean, I'm only sharing this because obviously it's the Professional You, but the reason why I feel like it's a great idea is because there's not much competition. There's only a minimum, probably like 10 brands that make products for massage therapy. And right now, like, I barely 2 months ago started making my products for my clients. And I've saved myself, like, it's crazy, like 80% of what I was spending before on using creams and oils on my clients. So I've dropped down such a percentage, and that's just me. And I'm spending a couple grand a year on just oils, right? And this is just me. So the company that I work for is making $15 million. That means that there's about 20% of that goes towards massage therapy products. And nobody's really doing much in the industry, and nobody has the stuff that I'm making.
Wow. Jessica, that made me think about this. There's a story, and I'm gonna make it real quick. Are you guys familiar with the gold rush, California gold rush, where all the settlers came to California to look for gold?
I am.
Okay. There was a time in our history of America where there was a gold rush, and a lot of these pioneers started coming from the east all the way west to come search for gold, like start mining for gold. A lot of these guys didn't have supplies, all these different things, but these guys were finding gold, whatever. The first person that found gold, he found a cool amount of gold. But the person that made the killing on the gold rush was the person that made shovels and sold shovels. The person that gave supplies. They're the ones that made the most money out of the gold rush.
Interesting. Which makes sense.
The people that are making the most amount of money out of the wars are the people that are creating the uniforms, that are manufacturing the and that's one couple of companies.
And that just is to prove my point about why I would, if I were to want to invest in a direction for that field, I feel like there's so much room for growth in that part. But I feel like I need a physical store, and the reason is why, and I only have one competitor, one. That's it. That's my only competition in LA.
Well, one of the I'm gonna tell you who your true competitor is. Yourself.
You guys are funny. But,
there is nobody that could do what you can do.
Yeah.
I think what you're saying, what Valen's saying is that's another excuse right there.
No,
right
actually,
now I'm already seeing as a, because I'm a business pro, I'm already seeing like, man, I'm best than you.
Yeah, like I'm ready. Like I think this is a great conversation for you to have, because you're now grounded with a team of optimistic and really forward thinkers, and that are in realistically thinking. And I love the fact that you've analyzed your market and analyzed your industry to know where you're trying to be better, who you're trying to be better than. It has nothing to do with your competition. That is just the bar that you're setting for yourself.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've definitely analyzed it enough to know where there's like a lot of room for growth. Just kind of like how you guys mentioned earlier. I said, "Oh, I have all these ideas," and you guys said, "Well, why don't you make that happen?" My idea was more focused on the product side of supplies of the industry, because there's really no competition, physical competition. So lately I've just been thinking more of like building a business plan to even get a loan to have a physical store, because I really think it can be very successful.
I totally agree.
And the thing is that in LA right now, the industry is making about $20 million a month.
Wow.
So that's how much.
I believe you, because
that's a wellness, that's all wellness, huh?
And that's just in LA and this company, and I'm just basing this on the facts from this company one company that I work with, and it's expanded to 22 cities in the U.S. now, and in Canada and in London in the last year.
Wow.
So that's how much money there is available to be made in that industry.
Wow. So now the next step for us now is to help you get that plan to where you want it and where you feel comfortable about it, and then pitch it to these investors and get that going. That's the next step.
Exactly.
So that's, when we meet, we'll schedule something with us all, and we'll talk about helping you get your ideas out on paper and helping you write them up, and we'll be here for you on that support, because that's the level that you're at right now.
Because let me tell you, there's a lot of money to be made right there.
And then it's helping people, and that's helping people.
Oh, yeah, it's an opportunity, and it hasn't been tapped, and I know that I can do it. It's just a matter of making it physical, because I think online it'll be great, too, but starting off with a physical store, because there's only one in LA.
Amazing. And then you know how, like, Saks Fifth Avenue, they have staple stores. You know what I'm saying? You have one in New York.
It's more about being kind of like a last-minute shop. But when I really think of the overall vision of the company, I think beyond that, like, way bigger. On a global level.
Totally. Like you're building a different angle of the industry. Yeah, like you're a different avenue of the industry, and we're industrialists, we're pioneers, we're ready to jump into that lane with you. Like me, I would love to sit there and just talk that shit. Excuse my French, but this is the new project. Oh, we're innovating, blah blah blah. Like I'll sit there and go to these tech conferences, and and really pull some people from Silicon Valley, and really with a project like this. Am I right, Johnny?
Yep.
Totally.
I have
All right.
access to that.
See, so this is what
No,
we're talking about.
But now you see what direction I would like to take it, because I mean, I'm basically just studying the product, and I love it. I love working with it. I hate working with oils now. I love just only working with my product, and all my clients love it.
Amazing.
I've never had any bad reviews about it.
You know, the good thing about your product that I like already is the fact that you're not touching the normal thing. Like, I go to those massage places all the time, and they do use oil. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm all oiled up. And, you know, you do pay a certain amount all the time. So just imagine you're tapping into the higher clientele.
Yes.
You know, you're going to hit a bigger market.
Like, even,
go ahead.
I could see Whole Foods having that for selling their
There
store.
You go.
So,
why even Whole Foods, Gelson's?
Or, like I said, my own shop. You know?
Yeah, totally. I love it.
But the whole point is, you know, when I started my business, I said competition, but then I told myself they're not even competition. They're like, there is no balance, right? You're the only competition to yourself because you don't limit yourself. You know, all the other people, like, just to give you an example, when they call me, they don't say Johnny the painter, Johnny this, Johnny that. I have a specific name that's so open to anything, and I don't dress up like any of them. So I look like a businessman, and they're like, that's what makes me more successful than the rest, because then you'll have the other guy like, well, I'm a contractor. I'm like, good for you.
Yeah.
Just keep being just a contractor. Then you're limiting yourself to one thing.
Right.
And like,
you're thinking like a boss. You're thinking
like
innovative. You're thinking change the industry, and your physical body might not be packaged for it yet. So people are looking at you like, how the hell is she having these ideas? It doesn't fit. So for you, we know you. We're here to support you. So we're here to facilitate that genius and allow that genius the comfort zone to be able to produce and create.
Yeah.
And it's, dude, I see your vision like already happening. Like, you know, it's not. It seems harder than it really is.
I feel like the only thing. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you know, for you it's probably easier just because you're on your own time already. You don't have to lose your job. You know, and then this goes back to the excuse like of the mannequin. So instead of working on the mannequin, that free time will be working on this. and then it doesn't take you away from your family, because even going to register the company, it's like doing your taxes. You just go and come out. And
you're investing in that freedom that you're going to have a year from now.
Yeah, and you don't even have to start right away because you're already mastering what you're doing. Then you focus on the next move. Like, okay, you know, how do I get a vendor that supplies me a bottle of something?
Right. And then we're here to go and run around and go get it for you, and then like connect the dots.
I actually already have that info.
Okay.
You see, you already thought about it. You just didn't have that push.
Yeah, no, I mean, I already buy like these jars from a specific like container company that I use for my products.
That's cool.
They look nice.
That's
little
great.
bougie.
Yeah,
little
you gotta
bougie,
do
but
it.
I like it.
Now it's time to really package
it
and really get it. So no, like now that you're voicing that, I think that we're really truly understanding of where we need to take your side of our branch, you know, and really like how we need to focus on you, because you have an amazing individual, independent mind state that needs to get grounded with the team.
Yeah. Thank you.
So we got you. You know, that's what we're here for.
I think the more you're coming, the more you're gonna like be around. It's not just like-minded thinking, but more around business-oriented people. The more you're gonna be like picking up on these things. And I was telling Valen, like I was doing I was with my mentor for free for a long time, and my ex used to tell me, like, why are you there free? Why are you there? I wasn't there just to be free. I was investing my time to learn business. You know, it's not like I went to school for business. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to learn business with this person. And for you, you have access to us who have access to more things. And, you know, it's like you don't even have to lose your job.
Yeah.
You have to lose your time, I guess.
At all.
Just,
This is just icing on the cake. Like, this is turning an hour into 2 weeks just by making the right call. You know? Like, you're compounding 2 weeks into 1 hour. Like, how did I get 2-3 months worth of work done in 1 hour of a conversation? Because you have the right team in place to make everything happen, and we all have the right resources. It's not like we have to try. We're just going to connect the dots and make it happen.
Look, if I can see, the thing is I have no experience with business plans, and that's where I have a fall
That's
out.
what I do. I'm going to tell you right now, I just finished launching ProWorldLife, but not before that, I just finished creating H&DP, which is an innovative brand from scratch. Then I just, I know how to start companies. I specialize in marketing plans. I went to UCLA for entertainment industry marketing plans. And I also have consulted with different companies creating marketing plans, and they've started their companies, and they're, running around successful. Like NC chimed in, and he said that I was one of the sparking engines behind a lot of his growth and everything like that. When we first met, I was the first person that had a DBA of seller permit, and we're running an independent business from home. So when it comes down to writing marketing plans and business plans, like, I'm the source, and that's what I highly specialize in consulting with from ProWorldLife. So, all it is just setting up a consulting meeting with me, and then, we'll bring the team together and we'll execute that.
Cool. Sounds good to me.
There you go. And the business plan, that's, don't make it seem like so big. The thought of it sounds big, but it's not. Like, you're just taking action is really the.
Well, you just haven't accomplished that hurdle, and that's where we're like, I've accomplished that hurdle, so that's where I meet you halfway. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's why having a dependable team of resourceful people is here for. That's what ProWorldLife is here for.
Believe me, if you were to go to somewhere else, they would have charged you thousands for the information we're giving you. And
totally. Yeah, but we're doing it on behalf of ProWorldLife, because that's what we do. Like, as an ambassador of ProWorldLife, we're personal growth and business consultants. So we consult with people, to invite them to join our community. When we have events where we might have a hype, these people are going to enjoy that atmosphere because we're going to embrace them with the resources that they need.
Yeah, I can definitely see it happening for sure.
So yeah, we'll just set up that meeting and we'll follow up on that for sure. Like, at your leisure, I'll reach out to you so we can kind of set some dates, put some dates aside, and help you get that going.
Yeah, sounds good. Mondays and Tuesdays is always a good day.
For sure, yeah. No, we want to have that party at your house, that meeting, so we could just kind of gather and rub elbows with each other. So I'll keep you posted once I get everybody's schedule, so we could kind of make that happen. Did you want to make a last final statement? Because I know it's getting late and I don't want to run you guys past midnight.
I'm pretty good. I think we touched everything, and I got questions answered and more clarity and understanding of what's going on with ProWorldLife. That's why I wanted to make sure that I had time to talk tonight.
Amazing.
So, yes, I want to put, an effort to just making time for the Wednesdays conference calls.
That'd be amazing. Yeah, that's more than we can ask, and it's a pleasure to welcome you to the fam.
Yeah, I mean, I look forward to meeting everybody and helping everything expand. I'm going to try to invite some people into the conversation, hopefully that they get in.
That'd be great.
Yes. All right. Well, good night, guys.
All right,
Good night.
All right, Jay. Johnny, last words?
I'm just happy to see other people succeed, and I think if you put it yourself in a good way, then the next time you introduce ProWorldLife to somebody, they're going to be like, wow, you run a business.
Right.
So you're going to be at a different level, and they're going to be wow when you're talking.
Right.
Because they're going to see, oh, man, she's doing this. The same with me. When I'm doing this, I feel good that I already have a platform, but I could also show something.
Right.
Same with Alan, he's doing something, but then he's inspiring and helping others, and they could see the wow factor from it.
Right.
I think this is going to be great.
Yeah, like every week we were able to grow.
Yeah. So today was a good meeting. It was quite different from the past, but overall good.
Yeah, I think it's getting better. Like adding the control dynamic is really something that I enjoyed. Like focusing on the topic and having people chime in. Like I like the fact that we have a lot of more callers, and we were able to have an open conversation. And everybody that we had on the conversation were part of my prospected branch. So you guys kind of like unofficially met each other real quick. You know what I'm saying? So it's cool to kind of for me to see the growth expanding for my involvement and things like that. Even like we got the little homie Raptail, and he's been inspired by the Professional You Handbook. Like, how about you talk about explain a little bit about your tell him.
Yo, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we could.
No, just everything. I'm just trying to get caught up what you guys are talking about. Will brought me a long ways, and it inspired me a lot. Keep pushing, and like you guys are saying, we're the ones that keep us house going. There's nobody else that can help us besides us house. So y'all have a good state of mind. Y'all are pushing, ups and downs. We keep pushing, and then I just tuned in. This is the first time on the hotline that got out of work. So next time I'll have a little bit more to talk about so they get caught up a little bit more. But other than that, just keep your mind and keep pushing.
Cool. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for tuning in, man. It's much love. You already know, man. I want to make sure that, you're inspired and motivated the whole time. This is like a graduation for us because, we started doing stuff in HNDP, and now that you're able to chime in and see what I'm doing, I know it inspires you to keep on pushing. So it's all love, man. Much love.
We support each other, that's all we have. Each other. We all got to go head in our shoulders.
Totally, man. So yeah, like Johnny, you got any last comments? You straight?
I think we were in the first call, and I like what it's turning out to. We're putting it to the next level. And all the people coming in, we're making them, sounds weird, but it's almost like the songs, all my friends drive Range Rovers. We want everybody to be on the same level and growing. Everybody's like on the same page. Like, we want to inspire other people.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're already getting the ball going, and it's going, and sooner or later we're going to have a big avalanche, and we're just going to jump high.
Yeah, I totally agree. I feel the same way, man. This is just the beginning, and we have such an amazing platform. And for us to be the ones that are creating it and sculpting it the way we want it to be, it's going to be an amazing ride, man.
And, that's how I see it. The first day I saw Violent, I was like, next thing you know, we're doing first call. It was to me and him. Next thing you know, someone else joined. That was a really good call. And I told Valen, watch one day, like it could be 5 years from now, we're going to look at the original tapes and we're going to be like, just saying, wow. Like we went from the first original to like, look where we're at now. Look where we're going. Look what we've done as far as business or whatever. But it'll be something to reflect like the original.
Yeah. Totally, man. That's what I'm doing it for, man. That's so cool. So yeah, so on that note, yeah, like, go ahead, do your last statement.
No. I'm just proud of what's coming together. That's it.
Nah, much appreciated, man. So like, I guess I'll come to my conclusion. This is my performing of being independent. I feel like I can do whatever I want in this world and in this universe, and I truly believe that I could inspire and wake up the world during my lifetime very, very soon, in the next 5 years, to have a global impact with this company and the message, and be around like-minded people that are all amazingly successful. All I have to do is stay consistent and continue to invite people to this platform. The only thing I would ask for people to do is to spread the message. I know that I'm only one person, but the message needs to be carried with multiple different legs and in multiple different minds, so it could stay a tool for the generations to come. So I only ask you guys to provide people access to what we're doing from ProWorldLife. If they're not that aware of being consciously awakened, provide them the access to the handbook and walk them through it. We need to do this on a global scale, for the benefit of our species and the world that's around us. So on that note, thank you guys for tuning in. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to contact us at ProWorldLife.com. That's ProWorldLife.com. There's a contact area, and you can feel free to send out a question. I'll most likely will respond within 72 hours. Feel free to hit up the Instagram, the Twitter. Also, go like us on Facebook, ProWorldLife, at ProWorldLife on all social networks. You can start to hashtag us at hashtag ProWorldLife, just to kind of get the ball rolling, and if you want to share some of your efforts in your personal life with the community. But again, I thank you guys. This is one of the weekly calls, and it's been a historical moment. ProWorldLife. Peace out.
Later. Bye.